What's up, hoop heads from around the globe, and welcome to our live draft show of Buzzer Beaters. I am Eddie Aparicio, and this is my co-host, Anthony Toine Corral, and we are going to go ahead and talk about the draft all night long. We have things to talk about as well in between, and I'm sure you guys have already heard about the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. We're going to talk about that and what that means for the Eastern Conference. Now that, the newly crowned New York Knicks, we thought they could be a repeat. But we don't know now with Giannis going to the Heat. That's an interesting move. We'll talk about that. There's also some other trades that went down. Julius Randle got dealt to the Nets. And then you got Nick Claxton going to the Bulls. Then you got Aaron Wiggins going to the Hawks. What that means for Jonathan Kuminga, right? Because that's kind of like his slot. So we're going to talk about that throughout the draft. And if you've been this is your first time listening to our show, hey, where have you been, right? So we've been here for over 2 years now, and this is our third draft that we're covering. Crazy, man. It's crazy how much time flies. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and cover 10 teams pre-draft while this draft goes on, because the previous 2 weeks, we've covered 10 teams each week, and then we had to save the last 10 for today. So we're going to go ahead and cover those teams today during the draft. So, Toine, you actually have eyes and ears on what's going on in the draft, right? So you'll see.
Correct. I am paying attention. So for a little bit of behind the curtain type of scenario, if I go like this, that means I'm looking at the TV.
Right.
Because I don't have a direct line of sight, but the TV's behind me. So I'll keep looking at that. I got the volume. Hopefully you don't hear the TV in the background.
Yeah, we can't hear it. We can't hear it, man.
Okay, awesome. So I'll be peeking over, but I also got it on. I'm tracking it on the website as well. So I'll be announcing things as they present themselves, and then we'll be showing a little bit of a photo of the player, talk a little bit about the player. Maybe we'll talk about at the same time whether or not we thought that this player might be drafted by that organization. Yes. As you guys know, Eddie and I have been alternating between different teams. So if it's an Eddie team, he'll talk about it. If it's a Toine team, I'll talk about it. So on and so forth. So we'll work our way through all this madness. And then in between, as we get time, we'll talk about Giannis. We'll talk about Julius Randle. We'll talk about Wiggins. We'll talk about Kuminga. We'll talk about, everybody, everything that's happening. And I'm sure there'll be trades happening throughout the day as well throughout this draft. And that, which is also something else that we're predicting. So we'll talk about those as they present themselves.
Well, it's interesting, Toine, now that's a good segue, because you and I, we made predictions on teams that were going to go ahead and make draft day trades. And I would say that some of these transactions that we talked about, Aaron Wiggins, Nick Claxton and Julius Randle, Giannis Antetokounmpo, these kind of count because it's not necessarily at the draft, but right before the draft. So these count, right? Yeah. So what I'll tell you, though, is that you picked 6 teams that were highly likely to do a draft. A trade in the draft, and you picked the Grizzlies, the Bulls, the Nets. You got that one right, bro. Mavs, Nuggets, Celtics. Then you also picked likely Clippers, Kings, Warriors, Pistons, Sixers, and Cavs. So you have 12 guys that you think are going to do some trades here, and then I only picked 6. Okay, this is the opposite, bro. I'm usually the optimist. You're the pessimist. Now we did it completely reverse. I'm the pessimist, right? But I picked the Hawks, which happened with Aaron Wiggins. The Bucks, of course, Giannis. That's the trade heard around the world, literally. And then the Thunder, the Heat, the Hornets, and the Spurs. So I picked 6 teams that I think are going to have some action during this draft. So,
all right, awesome.
So I know, real quick, I know that the pick is probably going to be coming in. I think, how much time do we have left to do the pick? Does it say on the TV yet?
Right now, he's still talking.
Okay, so we have time.
So right now, he's just talking to the masses. Yeah, we got a little bit of time.
All right, man. So let me go ahead and cover the Wizards, because the Wizards, we didn't do a pre-draft show for the Wizards. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Wizards right now. Okay, so the Wizards they have an offensive rating of 29th in the league at 111 points per game. Their defensive rating is 30th at 122.84 points per game. That's a net rating of a negative 11.84, which is dead last in the league. It's no wonder they have the number 1 pick yet again. Okay, so as far as
That's the polar opposite of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Exactly.
Just about the
Isn't that crazy, man? So, all right. So then we got the starter scoring. They're 29th in the league in starter scoring at 27.7 points per game. That's pretty sorry, man. 27.7 points from your starters. It's crazy. Of course, that's all going to change with Trae Young and Anthony Davis now coming on the team, right? Because they didn't play Anthony Davis at all when he got traded because he was hurt. And then Trae Young as well. They didn't play him either. So they were all saving him for this year. So bench scoring, they're second. 45.2 points per game. That's an interesting little stat right there, right? So when you look at these stats here, you're like, these are kind of misleading. Sometimes they're misleading and not, right? Because the Spurs were like right in the middle for both on the bench and starter scoring, yet they are the second seed in the West. So as far as roster needs, this team will improve with Davis, Young, and then I think they're going to pick up. I think they're going to draft. I think they're going to draft Darren Peterson. And the reason being, even though AJ DeBonsa is the better player, they don't have a need for DeBonsa on that team, man. They have Alex Carr as a power forward, although he got hurt. Now he had surgery. He got hurt with his foot, I think it is. They have Anthony Davis. I mean, those are two power forward types, which is what AJ DeBonsa really is, right? So I think they're going to pick up Peterson. That's my prediction right now. So okay. So, but as far as what they need bench scoring for sure and more defensive-minded players. That's my call on them. Now, as far as salary cap, they are 17th in the league. When they are 30th in net rating and 29th in offensive rating, they are 17th in the league at 75.6 million over the cap. That's hurting, bro.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think the NBA has a problem with the way they're setting up the cap?
Yeah.
Everybody's over.
Everybody's over. Everybody's over. They have this apron second, and the only reason why this apron and second apron is because of the Warriors. They don't want to have a dynasty for too long, right? That's the whole reason why they did all this. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's what's the purpose, man? Everybody's over it. They're just managing it, right? So I think it's not necessarily the best thing for it. So So all right. So draft day trade. I say it's highly unlikely that they're going to make a draft day trade. We'll find out here shortly, right? Now, as far as players that are gone, Jameer Watkins, 2.1 million. I think he's gone. D'Angelo Russell, believe it or not, he's on this team. 5.7 million. Now he's a good. I know they don't even play this guy. But as far as free agents to target, these are guys that I think that meet that bench scoring, maybe more defensive-minded guys. Anthony Simons, he's an offensive juggernaut. Really, he's a kind of a guy that can shoot. Pat Connaughton's more of a defensive guy, although he can shoot too. He's kind of a 3-and-D type guy. Tobias Harris and Benedict Mathurin, although Benedict Mathurin is a restricted free agent. So that's who I'm. These are the guys that I think that the Washington Wizards should target. And I've already mentioned who they should pick in the number one pick. I think they're going to pick Darren Peterson. Now, they also have two other draft picks, the 51st and the 60th pick. So as far as draft targets at 51, I have Bruce Thornton out of Ohio State as a point guard, and then I have Braden Smith out of Purdue as a point guard. Then we have at the 60th pick, I'm predicting Malik Brown or Toby Lawal. Malik Brown of Duke and Toby Lawal of Virginia Tech. All right, man. So that is the Washington Wizards pre-draft coverage. So now where are we at right now, brother? Yes. Are they giving you any timing on when these picks are going to be made, man?
They say the pick is in.
Oh, here we go. I'm saying it's going to be Darren Peterson, brother.
All right. Hey, are you getting an echo at all?
No.
I'm getting a small echo, but I'll deal with it.
All right, man. All right. So let's see what we got here, man. So all right. So here
so
it comes.
Speaking of, since we're on for the what do you think happens with D'Angelo Russell? Anybody that you think would be interested in picking him up? Do you think he's still a starter? Do you think he's
not a starter? I think he's a bench player now. But that's okay because he's serviceable. He can shoot. He can pass. He's a serviceable guy. So I think there's going to be teams out there, namely guys that are already really good that could use that scoring bench depth. That's what I think that's the right place for him. Heck, he might even fit for the Warriors again. I mean, he was on the Warriors for a period of time. So I don't know. What do you think?
I'm thinking I'm gonna make a little crazy prediction. They don't need them, but they need some veterans. They need some players. I'm predicting a reunion with the Nets.
You think so?
I'm predicting. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like he might go for the Nets. He might get some starting time. He'll get some bench time. He can play a little with Randall. I'm thinking, yeah. I mean, I don't I don't think any competing teams are really going to pick him up. You know, and the way he plays offense, he's very much a flow killer. You know,
Yes.
he's ball dominant.
Yes,
He
he
needs
is.
the ball. Yeah. So like a lot of the better teams have a quick pace, and he's really not built for that. So I'm thinking, you know, some sort of lesser team. All right, here we go.
All right. So what I was going to ask you as you get, oh, you're looking up. So for the audience, when he looks up, then he's looking at the TV and then seeing who got picked. So I'm saying Darren Peterson, brother.
No, they took the Bonsta.
They did. Wow.
They did.
Okay, so I'm
they
0 for
took
1, bro.
Bonsta.
All right, man.
So
all right. So anyway, so
right,
AJ DeBonsa is the pick. So yeah, look at him. This guy's gonna be a player, dude. He is gonna be a player, guaranteed. He, you know, but I don't know. I think what happens now is they're probably gonna make a trade to probably make room for that guy with somebody on their team because they have a pretty, you know. Here's my call. Surprise, surprise. They're a team that's, I think, gonna be definitely on the rise. I mean, you have to only go up from 30th, man, right? They're the 30th worst team in the league. They can only go up. They have Anthony Davis. They have Trae Young. They have Alex Sarr, who got hurt. They have Keyshawn George, who's a pretty good player. He actually emerged as a pretty good player this last season. They have Bilal Coulibaly, who's actually a really good defensive player. I really like that guy. You have your boy Trey Johnson, man, out of University of Texas.
Trey
Will
Johnson,
Riley. Yeah, and then the other Champagne twin. You remember Justin or Julian Champagne from the Spurs? They have Justin Champagne. He's not as good of a shooter as Julian. Julian had a coming out party in this finals, man. I mean, surprisingly this team didn't go. You know, they didn't win more than one game. That's crazy when they were favored to win the series, in my opinion. But let me ask you this question, moving off, because you brought up, you know, D'Angelo Russell, who's surprising on this team, right? But as far as Julius Randle, you said that he might be joining Julius Randle on the Nets.
Correct.
How pissed are you if you're Julius Randle? I mean, you were on the Minnesota team, the Timberwolves, who've been to the Western Conference, you know, and then now you're being dealt to a team that's definitely in rebuild mode and nowhere to be seen in the playoffs. How do you feel if you were him?
I mean, I have a hard time gauging Randall's competitiveness. I mean, I know he's a pretty aggressive player, but you know, one of the reasons that he's been shopped around a lot is because he, similar to D'Angelo Russell, he requires the ball a lot, and it takes a long time for his offense to develop, and he kind of makes the offense stagnant. And you know, I didn't see anything kind of in the postseason that really showed me that he's trying to accommodate the other offensive players.
Right.
You know, he's really focused on his game, and so you know, that gives me a sense like he's more worried about his game than everyone else's, you know, primarily. And so just reading the tea leaves there, I would think that as long as he's getting playing time and he's, you know, making a name for himself, I don't think he'd be as bothered as, you know, somebody else who might be a little more kind of team success focused. That's just me reading the tea leaves. I don't know anything, but I'm just kind of looking at that because he's a pretty selfish player, you know, in that sense. I'm not saying he's a selfish person, but he's a pretty selfish player in his style of play. So,
well, I think he played himself out of Minnesota in the last series for sure. I mean, he disappeared big time. So I know we're showing AJ DeBonte here, but we had a kind of a quick little digression because we brought up, you know, D'Angelo Russell and then, you know, Julius Randle. You know, your prediction that he's going to be joining Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell will be joining Julius Randle at the Nets. That's why we were talking about Julius Randle.
Yep.
But another guy that I think is on the watch about getting traded, just like Julius Randle, is De'Aaron Fox from the Spurs. That dude had a really bad series, but you know, you could blame him. He was partially injured, but the guy I think he's going to get. Dylan Harper emerged as the point guard for the Spurs. I think he's going to take over. That means, in my opinion, bye-bye De'Aaron Fox. We shall see what happens here, brother.
I agree with you there. He had the most damaging postseason of any player.
Yes.
Of any player on any team in the postseason. He really hurt his stock. And it's going to take a minute. And he had some ankle injuries, and I've heard other kind of podcasters and announcers talk about the fact that his game is so reliant on speed that his style of play is impacted more than the average player when he has an ankle injury. And maybe that he was trying to do what he would normally do, but because the ankle slowed him down, he wasn't able to, and so it made him look bad. And I have, if that is really what happened, then I really have a secondary concern, which is as you get older and you get slower, how are you going to accommodate your style of play? You know, are you just going to lose value if your speed is completely gone, which he will slow down over time? You know, even Russell Westbrook, who never seems to get old, has slowed down a little. So, you know, all of that's going to matter. So we'll see. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think that De'Aaron Fox is probably going to be traded and see what they can get for him.
Yep. Hey, real quick, man. So, do you remember we did that best one-on-one player of all time series that we had?
Yes.
And we noted. Remember before we got to to select, we went through a process of selecting the best players from each franchise.
Correct.
And I wanted to go ahead and ask you, you know, for the Wizards, the all-time, well, it was a bullet. The all-time best was Wes Unseld for the Wizards.
Yes, Wes Unseld, correct.
Right, that was the best. Now, I want to ask you. I mean, it's going to be an easy question to answer. But do you see anybody on this Wizards team that can unseat Wes Unseld as the best Wizard of all time?
Good question. I mean, Anthony Davis is.
But he's not really that. He wasn't drafted by him.
No, oh, so you're saying someone who's actually been drafted.
I mean, let's just say that, you know, Wes Unseld played on the team for a long time, but Anthony Davis, he still has a lot of basketball left. But if he stays healthy, yeah, he could be a guy that.
But the problem is what would he be remembered as, right? So number one, he's older. Number two, he's injury prone. So I would say that we would need at least 5 seasons of
good Anthony Davis,
65 games or more.
Okay.
Of good Anthony Davis. And then maybe we can begin to have possibly that discussion, but I don't think we're getting 5 seasons out of him.
Yeah, I don't think so. We'd be lucky to see maybe 3 seasons out of this guy.
Yeah,
as far as good, and not he has to play like, you know, 70 games for the next 3 seasons each year. That's what he has to do in order to be in any conversation. But you know, Wes Unseld is a Hall of Famer. I mean, you know,
correct.
Anthony Davis is gonna be a Hall of Famer for sure, in my opinion. So, real quick, I want to tell you. So, I asked AI for a consensus of the top 30 picks and who AI thinks is going to be drafted number 1 and all the way through 30. And AI had predicted AJ Devonta. So far AI is correct.
So AI is correct.
Aaron Peterson because of need, but you know, it's probably best to. You know, as Warrior fans, we figured this out. You want to draft best players available, not necessarily based on need, right? We know, you know, James Wiseman was a need. We know Jonathan Kuminga was kind of a project, but they didn't necessarily draft the best player available because, you know, we all know that, you know, Franz Wagner was a guy that Steve Kerr wanted instead of Jonathan Kuminga. And
correct. Yeah, we learned that pretty quick.
Yep.
So, Darren Peterson has been drafted by the Utah Jazz.
All right. Yes, so Darren Peterson. So Darren Peterson, interestingly enough, he is kind of being compared to a Kobe Bryant light, which is a big name to be kind of considered.
That is a big name.
That's a big name, but he's got blood clot issues, right? That's the thing that, you know, has kind of haunted him throughout his career. That's why you kind of saw him during the tournament. You kind of take some plays off, you know, kind of be signaled to kind of take out of the game. It's because of that. But the guy is super talented. He's a shooting guard who can shoot. He's just a very dynamic, scoring type of player. I think he's going to be a very good player for the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz are a team that's up and coming, of course, because they got. You know, of course, Walker Kessler has this contract dispute that's going on right now, and then you also have Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. You have Keontae George, who's actually been a pretty good player for them. He emerged last year. Filipowski. This team is actually
Filipowski.
They're going to be someone to reckon with. And as far as an up and coming team, they also have Lauri Markkanen, who's actually a pretty good player. So they have talent on that team. I think they're going to be an issue. So
I agree. And just as a reminder for everyone, I know we talked about Utah in previous shows, but Eddie here had targeted Devonta or Peterson as the picks that would be in this. I think that was a pretty safe prognostication there. Everyone knew these guys were going to go 1 and 2. That's it for Utah though for today, unless they make a trade, which you have marked as highly unlikely, which I agree. Utah will not be drafting again today. So
all right.
They got their one pick and they're moving on.
So the best player that we have seen from the Utah Jazz, from our best one-on-one player of all time series, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, look back at episodes 9, 10, 11. We went through a quest to determine the best one-on-one player of all time. And, we even asked AI. We went through matchups and so forth. John Stockton was the best player from the Utah Jazz that was selected from that franchise. Correct. Well, I want to ask you, bro, do you see anybody supplanting him in the most recent Jazz history of players?
No.
I don't either. No. I don't either, man.
No, I mean, Peterson aside, right? I mean, he's a pretty dynamic player. We'll see what he does, but no one that we've seen. I would have argued Deron Williams had the potential, but then he fell off a cliff. He also had some disagreements with Jerry Sloan, who was a longtime beloved coach at Utah. I believe Deron Williams was part of the reason why Sloan was let go. So I think that would put a mark on his career on Deron Williams. But he was really good, but he wasn't John Stockton. If I look back, I mean, obviously Karl Malone is the closest player to John Stockton, but they played at the same time. Yeah, yes. Once John Stockton left, I would say Deron Williams for a period of about 2.5 years was probably the closest, but no, he's not close, and I can't really think of anyone else at that point. So no Andre Karolinko, nobody that I can think of.
Yep. So we predicted that the Utah Jazz, mainly because they only had one pick in this draft, that they would not do a draft day trade. So we were correct. It was highly unlikely. We did say that there's some free agents that they should target because the needs that we identified was that they needed a veteran bench scorer and wing defender, and the guys that are available that can potentially fill that need. That's not necessarily both of these roles as bench scorer and wing defender. I'm just saying a bench scorer and a wing defender, not necessarily both of those being done by one player. If they can do that, great. But here are the players that I thought they could go after, or they should go after in the free agent market. CJ McCollum, I think he'd be a good fit for him. Kobe White, Anthony Simons, Chris Middleton, Tobias Harris. Those are all players I think that would be good complementary pieces to this team that is, as I said, they're going to be a sneaky team to kind of watch, as far as their roster goes. Let me go ahead and just pull up their roster here. So they have, I already mentioned the Keontae George, he's essentially their point guard, although he's kind of a combo guard. Then your boy Ace Bailey last year. He's their shooting guard. Same team out of Dylan Harper out of Rutgers. It's amazing that those two guys on that team couldn't take them to the tournament. But anyway, we know what happens.
All right, we got a pick coming in. I think I hear the tone.
Okay, let's do it, man.
Cameron Boozer.
Cameron
Boozer, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Cameron Boozer. Cameron Boozer. So for a quick recap, I had the Memphis Grizzlies pre-draft preview. Some roster needs that I said was shooting, size, and health. I think Cameron is a candidate for all three of those. Not a three-point shooter per se, but he can shoot. The targets that I had at the third pick: Caleb Wilson, Cam Boozer, and Darius Acuff, or Acuff, depending on how you want to pronounce that. And they took Cam Boozer. I don't think this is a stretch. The Grizzlies do need a little bit of size, especially after trading away Triple J over to the Utah Jazz, which we were just talking about. So I think this is a good pickup. I am not as high on Cam Boozer as others were.
I'm not either. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I was disappointed in his tournament play, to be honest, and we'll see how he does. I'm not, I think he'll be a solid player. I don't think he'll be a star. I don't think he'll be, I think he'll be a solid player.
Do you see him as an all-star? Do you see him as a future all-star?
Not at this point. No.
Okay. I think he just needs to build up some, he's a little wiry.
Yeah. So we'll see how he does, but that's been, this has been predicted for quite a while. I think most people knew that Cam Boozer would go first or go third. So we'll see how that goes. I did want to ask you. So we were talking about the greatest Memphis Grizzlies of all time. Who did we peg as the greatest?
It was Mike Conley. Mike Conley.
Wow, one of my favorite all-time players.
He is, and he's still playing.
Yes.
He's still playing.
No, I love Mike. I'm a big Mike Conley fan. I love his demeanor when he's playing. I love his sportsmanship. That guy's, he's been very successful, but hasn't had a lot of winning. He just reminds me of what the Warrior players used to be like. Never win, but good guys. And so he seems like a good guy. So and I guess the next question is, do I see anyone that would surpass him right now?
No, I
No,
don't
I
see
thought
it.
John Morant for a minute, but now we know how his career is gone. So
It's
that's
crazy,
not.
huh? I mean,
Yeah,
the off court behavior matters. Character matters to the
yep,
general managers in the NBA. The guy, he tried to be all gangster, with the gun and all this and that. I don't know. I don't know what made him do that. I mean, sometimes it's a maturity level thing, and we got. Sometimes we forget that these guys are all still in their 20s, man. So
yeah,
not all of them are necessarily mature, and unfortunately, his lack of maturity has, I think, halted or stunted his NBA career. Guy's
yeah,
super athletic. He's an
yeah,
unbelievable athlete. I mean, for
yeah,
his size, that dude can get up. I
yeah.
I, I think he probably has the highest vertical leap in the NBA. I
You're
think
probably right. Yeah, no, you're
he's
probably right.
amazing. He's amazing,
Yeah,
but he's frail thin. His shooting is a little inconsistent, but he's like Allen Iverson as far as like his shiftiness, being able to drive to the basket. He reminds me a lot of he's the closest thing to Allen Iverson that we have in the
I would
NBA.
agree. I would agree. His
Even
ability,
with the attitude, because Allen
yeah, no,
Iverson was the same way.
his quickness and his fearlessness is very similar to Allen Iverson's. But like you said, his off court drama, and the thing about it is his off court drama is all self inflicted. It's
Yes,
all stuff that he's kind of doing to himself. It's not even situations that he's finding himself in, flashing guns and recording himself with guns. And it's like, come on, man, like you got to be smarter than this. And so
big
we'll
time, man.
we'll 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 see what happens with him. Obviously, getting a big man is not really going to impact him directly, but we'll see what they do. I'm still of the opinion that, and by the way, I had the Memphis Grizzlies as a highly likely draft
Yep,
trade, which I
yep.
still think might happen. I do think that John Morant could be traded, in this draft, depending
I
on
think so.
who
It's
goes where.
possible.
So
I agree.
I think there's a good chance because I think they've already, they traded away Desmond Bain, they traded away Triple J.
Triple
They
J.
got John Morant now. I mean, he's pretty much the last one left of that kind of draft class.
Yes.
And so we'll see what they do, but I think it's likely that they're going to do something with him.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. Hey, real quick. So, as far as the consensus top 30 picks from AI, so I already mentioned AJ Devonso was projected to be #1 pick. They were right. They projected Cameron Boozer to be #2. He was #3, and Darren Peterson would be the 3rd pick by the Grizzlies. But it's just flip flop those. But as far as the next pick that is coming up, they predict that Caleb Wilson will be selected by the Chicago Bulls. So
Yes.
that's the projected, now as far as, this is the team that you covered, the Chicago Bulls. You actually put Caleb Wilson, Darius Acuff, and Nate Ament, as the guys that should be projected. So
yeah, Nate Ament is going up the charts. I think he's one of those guys that started off lower when the early mocks started, and now he kind of is going up the charts. Acuff, given a point guard, that type of player, 3-point shooter, that type of thing. But I do agree. I think they're going to go with Caleb Wilson, even though I noted they needed a center, not necessarily a power forward.
Right.
But I think Caleb Wilson can fill some of that role. So I do think they're going to go with Caleb Wilson here. That would be my overall prediction.
So now the Bulls, we don't have to necessarily go over who the best player of all time for Bulls history. We already know who that is, right?
No,
I mean, he's considered the best player of all time, period.
Yeah.
But he didn't win our greatest one-on-one player of all time, by the way.
He did
so
not.
For those of you who are watching, you definitely want to tune in into our greatest one-on-one, the quest for the greatest one-on-one player of all time. We're not going to reveal who it is, but wasn't Michael Jordan. So that's interesting. But as far as the team right now for the Bulls,
here we go.
The team,
Caleb Wilson's the guy that was picked up.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yeah,
right on. So we got that one. You got that one right, man. I mean, that was projected.
But. Like I said, I mean, I think our hit and miss in the first 5 to 8 picks are going to be pretty darn close.
Yes. After that, it's going to vary.
After that, it's going to vary. There's going to be some variances, especially if we predicted that some of these guys might slip. Down the road.
Yep. So let's see. You had Caleb Wilson, and let's see. So as far as the team, okay, let's look at their team. So they have Josh Giddey, who is their point guard.
Yep.
They have Trey Jones, who kind of is a combo point guard shooting guard type. They have Isaac Okoro as their small forward, and then they have Matas Bucelis, your
My boy Bucelis,
as a power forward. And then Nick Claxton, newly acquired Nick Claxton, is now their center. Now they have bench players. They have Rob Dillingham, former, University of Kentucky, former Spur, former Wolf. Well, he got traded to the Wolves by the Spurs. And then Colin Sexton is another guy on that team. And then Patrick Williams. And Jalen Smith is a backup center. Zach Collins is another one that's a backup center. Anthony Simons is on this team as well. So, they're actually kind of like interesting. They have a lot of, young kind of talent that's all similar size, except for, Claxton and Buzelis, although Josh Giddey at 6'8" point guard, that's a matchup problem. But as far as all the other guys, they're all kind of similar sized guys, positionless kind of guys. So, they're an interesting little team.
Yeah, I do want to take this opportunity because the Clippers are on the clock, and I hadn't given the Clipper slide, or we haven't talked about the Clippers season or their pre-draft preview. So I did want to take a minute to do that. In terms of ratings, offensively, they're 116.3 this past season. Defensively, they were 115.2 for a net rating of 1.1. Respectively, offensively, they were ranked 11th. Defensively, they were ranked 18th, and then their overall net rating, they were ranked 16th. Their starter scoring, 77.5 points per game, puts them at 18th overall, and then bench scoring has them at 36.3 points per game at 18th overall. What I noted is roster needs center, shooting, some wing scoring. I think they need a couple of things. Obviously, they did a late trade last season, trading away James Harden for Garland. I was about to say Winston Garland to show how old I am, but his son,
right?
Was traded up, which I think he's going to be a good, as long as he stays healthy. He's had a little bit of an injury history, but as long as he stays healthy, he's a good player. In regards to the roster needs that being around center, shooting, and wing scoring, I targeted a couple of people. Keaton Wagler, which I think is the most likely player that's going to get picked up here. There's Mikael Brown Jr. There's Braden Burris, who's lately's gotten a lot of attention, the shooting guard out of Arizona. And then there's Darius Acuff, the point guard out of Arkansas. So those are the people that we were looking at. Regarding the cap, they're at negative $90.6 million, which ranks them 23rd. I also had them as likely, not highly likely, but likely as a draft trade. And some of that is stemmed from the fact that I don't know what they're going to do with Kawhi. Obviously last season there was a lot of information or media release about paying him through different organizations. And there was all this kind of stuff. So I don't know if LA wants to kind of distance themselves from all that by trading him. He's also a season older. He's also had a long history of missing a lot of time, even though last year he played a fair amount. And then for players that are likely gone, John Collins, who's an expensive $26.5 million player, I think he's gone. And then Nicholas Batum, who's been around forever at $5.6 million, I think that they're likely gone. We can talk about their draft picks for the 36th pick. I had Zuby Ejiofor from St. John's, and then Jack Kale, point guard from Berlin, Alba Berlin. And then the 52nd pick, I had only identified one player, which is Ugonna Onyenso, a center out of Virginia. So this all kind of fits some of the needs that they have. So we'll see what they do here in a couple of minutes. But I do think that they're going to go with Keaton Wagler, the guard out of Illinois, 6'6", 180.
Okay, so according to AI says the 5th pick will be Mikael Brown Jr. out of Louisville.
Okay, that's what it's saying. All right, well,
in there as well.
So he's in there as well. Yeah,
if AI is correct or not. Now, as far as the best player in Clippers history, do you remember who we noted as the best player of all time from Clippers?
Was it Elgin Baylor?
Nope. It was not.
Chris Paul?
Nope. We did not. It's a pretty obvious one for a high flying act.
We didn't put Blake Griffin.
We did put Blake Griffin, dude, as the best. Wow. And the reason we didn't pick Chris Paul
what were we thinking about there?
It's because he's a Hornet. We didn't pick Chris Paul because he's a Hornet.
That's true. That's true. Good call.
The reason.
Good call. Yeah,
so
that's
Blake
true.
Griffin. So now the question I want to ask you: do you see anybody on the Clippers in recent history that would displace Blake Griffin as the best player from that franchise of all time?
Not displaced, but I think Winston Garland there's a chance. Oh, Winston,
No,
I keep
like
calling him Winston.
Darius Garland.
Sorry, I keep calling him Winston Garland. Forgive me, I'm old. Darius Garland. I think he has the potential. Oh, here we go.
So?
Draft. Yeah, the draft pick's in, and
Okay.
they took Keaton Wagler.
Nice.
Yeah, I called
That's
it.
who you thought they were going to take.
Yeah, that's who I thought they were going to take. Yeah. I think this is a good pickup. Yep. I think he'll play good across on the opposite side of Garland. You know, one of the challenges, one of the reasons that I believe Cleveland traded Garland from the Cavaliers was because they had as Eddie likes to laugh, the Lilliputian backcourt. You know, Spider Mitchell isn't exactly very tall. Garland isn't exactly very tall. Now we got sort of, and again, I'm not comparing, but now we got sort of a Steph Clay thing, right? Keaton Wagler 6'6", you know, so he's a taller guard. So I think that would offset, and I think that's what they're prepping the backcourt to be, Garland and Wagler, and they've got good height there, distribution in terms of those players, which is why I thought they went. I mean, Mikal Brown isn't much shorter at 6'5", but that for me, for some reason, that inch seemed like it was going to matter to them, and that's the way they went, which is why I made the choice that I did.
Yeah, you know, and your prediction about the Clippers making a move, this team screams needing some youth. You know, the Warriors eliminated them. When the Warriors eliminated them, you know, we all thought that was like, oh my God, the Warriors are coming, right? And because we thought the Clippers were an overall better team. But if you look at their roster, Darius Garland is a good player, and it's not a bad prediction that he might overtake Blake Griffin as the best Clipper of all time if he continues staying healthy and the Clippers start winning more consistently. But that's really all very dependent on Kawhi Leonard being available to the team. And you already talked about, you know, his off-court issues by being paid by, you know, a third party, you know, and they were trying to hide his salary, you know, being paid more than he actually, you know, to avoid the salary cap restrictions. You know, good old Steve Ballmer, man, found a way to do that. But anyway, but as far as their team, they have Darius Garland as their point guard, Chris Dunn, who is a shooting guard, although he's not a really good shooter. So he's there for his defense. He's a really good defensive guy. And, you know, he's kind of like a combo point guard, shooting guard, although he can't shoot really. And then Kawhi Leonard is a small forward. Derek Jones is actually an interesting little player. So he's a good a guy that I kind of like as a good, just overall defensive type of player. But Brook Lopez is their center. And, you know, they need some youth. Brook Lopez is too slow now. They have John Collins, but he's too expensive. They're probably going to, I think, ship him out. Benedict Mathurin is a restricted free agent. I think he's a guy that they could, you know, keep or dangle to a team that's a contender to get some picks. So I think this team needs an upstart, a youth upstart movement. In my opinion.
No, I think keeping Mathurin is good. I think that, you know, the way this all played out, I think they would have taken a gamble of taking a big man, a center at this pick for the Clippers. But, you know, someone like the big man over there at Michigan, Mara, you know, would have been too high to take. But I think they would have, if there was a big man that was ranked close, I think they would have went that route. But there wasn't, so they went with the best available player.
Yep.
In my opinion, which was Wagler.
So you have Brooklyn Nets are on the clock right now.
Correct, Brooklyn Nets.
So who do you think they're going to pick?
I think they're going to throw a little bit of a curveball here because they are the Brooklyn Nets, and that's not a big curveball, but I think they're going to go with Darius Acuff here, and they're going to squash Sacramento's dreams because I think Sacramento is pining for this guy, and I think that this is who they're going to pick up.
Okay, so according to AI, it said Kingston Flemings, who's already been picked. So since Mikal Brown hasn't been picked, and he's the guy that AI predicted would be picked here. He's a point guard, and
Fleming has not been picked yet.
Oh, Kingston Flemings has not been picked.
No, has not. No.
Oh, it was Wagler. Sorry, I got those guys confused. Keaton Wagler is the guy that I always get confused with. Kingston Flemings. So Kingston Flemings is the guy that they say are going to be picked. It's between Kingston Flemings and Mikal Brown.
Yeah.
Which you know what's interesting is that in AI they had Keaton Wagler at number 9.
Correct. Yeah, I had Wagler as a possibility here. I had for our preview, I had Acuff, Wagler, and Nate Ament here. I think Meta Men could be a little bit of a wild card. They might go that route, but they do need a franchise type player, and I think that Acuff has that potential. He's very, he's a very, how would I put it? Very not flashy, but very kind of strong, good player. Like could become something. That's why I think they're going to go that route. Okay. I think Meta Men is still too much of a project, but again, it's the Nets, and historically they're not known as making, solid picks, or solid things. So they might go with a Men, and that could be a lot of upside on that. But I'm sticking with Acuff.
And they also now have Julius Randle, and with that deal, the Wolves also sent the Brooklyn Nets the 28th pick in this draft. So
correct.
The Brooklyn Nets also got a pick. So as far as their team, so they have point guard Igor Demin, and I don't know if you remember last year, but they drafted I think 3 point guards last year. So they drafted Igor Demin, Ben Saroff, Nolan Trayer. These are all guys that they picked. And I think it was Malachi Smith was another one that they picked. So they picked, like a record 4 point guards in the same draft last year. It's crazy. Yeah. So, but as far as their starting lineup, so right now they have Igor Demin. He's actually a pretty good little player, man. I kind of like him. Drake Powell, who is kind of like, he's not a great shooter. He was injured quite a bit last year. They have Michael Porter Jr. As their small forward, and then they have now newly acquired Julius Randle. Oh, they made their pick?
Mikal Brown.
Yeah, Mikal Brown.
So I've been way off on this. I didn't even have him in my prognostication for this one. But yet another point guard, to your point. So they went with a point guard. They went with a point guard. All right, so Kings fans, if you're out there, you still could get Acuff.
There we go. Then they might do it.
Yeah.
So you said it was Mikal Brown. So I'm just going to go ahead and update the ticker with that. And Mikal Brown. All right, so now let me ask you something. So do you remember who we picked as the best net player of all time?
Not Drazen Petrovic, right?
No. Dude, this one was like you were fighting for this one.
Oh, yeah.
You remember?
Dr. J, yes.
Dr. J.
Yeah, I remember now. Yes.
Brooklyn net, New Jersey net of all time. Right. Yes. So
and what's funny is we picked him as a net in the ABA, not even the NBA. Because the NBA absorbed the ABA completely, we considered all those stats as being total in their totality. Yes. And he was a fantastic net.
Yes. So now we have the Sacramento Kings.
Yep, I'm going to give a preview of them. They're one of the teams that we didn't cover coming up to here.
And before you do that, do you see anybody displacing Julius Irving on the Nets? Recent history?
No, the current. No, not right now. Okay. No.
So he's safe to be the franchise best player for years to come, right? So
we'll see.
Irving.
We'll see how Mikal Brown does, but as of right now, no one.
I hear you. All right, man. Go for it, man. You got the Sacramento Kings, man. So
all right, here we go. The Sacramento Kings had a pretty horrid season, and to cap it off, they saw the coach that they fired go on and win an NBA championship. So how's that for salt in the wound? In any case, their ratings: offensively 110.6, defensively 120.3, net rating -9.7, which is horrid. Not as horrible as the Wizards, but still pretty bad. Offensively,
those are like 28th, 29th ranked kind of.
Yep. Right? Offensive rating, that was good for 26th in the league. Defensive rating, that's good for 28th in the league, and net rating was good for 28th in the league.
Man, that's pretty brutal, bro.
No numbers that you want to have, which to me has speculated, which is why I had a draft day trade likely. I think Sabonis is up for being traded. I think the Eddie, you have to remind me of my memory. The kid they picked up from Zach Levine. I think he's up for being traded. I think they got a lot of players that I think they're willing to trade out. I didn't put them as likely gone, but I think there are a lot of players there. Starter scoring, 73.1, good for 26th in the league. Bench scoring for 13th, 37.9. So bench scoring, they were sort of mid-level, and starter scoring, they were way down on the lower end of the league. What do they need? They need a starting point guard. They need defense. They really need to start over. Which is I feel really strongly. No, I mean I don't mean that as an insult. I think
they do though. They do.
Yeah. yeah, they need to get some of these players that they have. None of them are players that are going to get you into a championship. They're awfully expensive. For the team that they had, they're 90 million over the cap. Just think about that. They're 22nd worst in the league at being over the cap. If that doesn't tell you should start over when you're like almost dead last in all these stats, I don't know what else will. As I mentioned earlier, draft day trade, very likely. If it isn't draft picks, I think there'll be some sort of package or combination of players. We'll see how things play out. Players that are likely gone. Russell Westbrook at 2.2 million. I think he's most likely gone. Doug McDermott at 2.2 million. I think he's most likely gone. Drew Eubanks at 2.2 million. I think he's most likely gone. And I think Killian Hayes is most likely gone. They have the 7th pick in the first round, and in the second round, they have the 34th and the 45th pick. For the 7th pick, I have Darius Acuff, Kingston Flemings, Mikael Brown, who's already gone, Keaton Wagler, who's already gone.
Yep. And so it's between Acuff and Kingston Flemings. That's your
and to me, I think it's a no-brainer. They're going to take Acuff. I don't see how they're not going to do it. There's been a lot of talk about that. I think that's the route they're going to go. For draft
real quick. I just want to interrupt real quick. So Nate Ament is projected by AI to be the 7th pick, and they have Darius Acuff 15th right now.
We'll see. We'll see. I think AI is on crack, but we'll see if maybe I'm on crack. So this will be the crack proof right here.
Exactly.
For the 34th pick, for the 34th pick, I've got Alex Caravan, point forward out of UConn. As a potential, Baba Miller. I just like to get him on my team.
Love that name, Baba.
Just so I can say Baba. You know,
you watch Howard Stern? Howard Stern, you watch that Baba Booey?
I know who he is. I haven't watched a lot of it, but I know who he is.
Yeah. Anyway,
and then hold on, let me see. Is there a pick come in yet? Yep, already done. Darius Acuff.
Oh, good prediction, dude.
Yes, Darius Acuff. I knew it, dude. I knew it. Nice. I felt it in my core. They were gonna pick up Darius Acuff.
That's awesome, dude. Good call, man.
So while we're still on the Kings, the 34th pick, the third person I had was Joshua Jefferson, point forward out of Iowa, 6'8", 246 pounds. And then for their 45th pick, I picked 3 guys. Trevin Brazile, Arkansas, 6'10", Dylan Mitchell, not to be confused with Davion Mitchell, power forward out of St. John, 6'7", and then Bruce Thornton, a point guard out of Ohio State, 6 foot. But a little bit about Darius Acuff. I think this is what they need, Eddie. He's a tough player. I think he'll be someone that, will make a little name for himself. I think this is a step in the right direction. I do like this pick. I do like this pick.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. He's a tough kid. We watched a lot of games where he's in it, where he's just carrying the load, kind of seemingly.
He had a really good tournament, man.
Yeah.
You could argue kind of probably one of the better players in the tournament when he was playing. So, of course, Arkansas got ousted, I think in the second round, or I think it was third or second round. But anyway, so, all right. So we got now on the clock, we have the Atlanta Hawks.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a team that I have to cover, because this is a team that we did not cover in our pre-draft shows prior to the draft today. So the Atlanta Hawks, they are a team that's 14th rated offensive rating at 116.13 points per game. Defensive rating, this has surprised me, man. They're 9th. They're 9th best defensive team in the NBA, dude. That is surprising. That's surprising. So they are 100. That's 9th. Then the net rating is they were 12th at 2.36. This team got really hot at the end of the season, and I thought they would be a tough out. And they did an upset, or pretty close to it, and then they just kind of faded out, in the end. But as far as their roster scoring capabilities, they have a starter scoring of 81.8 points per game. That's 9th best in the NBA. Their bench scoring is at 36.6, 17th best in the NBA. Now, as far as roster needs, they need a backup point guard, bro, badly. I mean, Gabe Vincent isn't going to cut it for him as a backup point guard. I think they need a backup shooting guard too, as well, because I don't know if Corey Kispert is that guy. He's serviceable, but I think they need better players. Now that they got Aaron Wiggins got dealt by the Thunder, and they got 2 future second-round picks. What does that mean for Jonathan Kuminga? We'll see, man. I don't know. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga could be on his way out. I mean, he is a free agent, and they could be shopping him. Now we indicated this team to be likely to do a draft day trade. So far hasn't happened, but they have 2 more picks to come. So, but as far as they're over the salary cap, everybody's over the salary cap. They're 87.4 million over the cap. That's 21st worst in the NBA. So they're near the bottom. Okay, there's only one team. There's 9 teams that are worse than them, and of course the Warriors are dead last. So as far as players likely gone, Jonathan Kuminga, I think he's $24.3 million. He actually came out and played well when he first came over, but then he kind of disappeared again. And maybe you know the Warriors are being proven right that this guy just isn't necessarily an all-around good player. He has flashes of brilliance from time to time. So I think they're going to shop him. Mohamed Guy, he's $2.4 million. I think he's another guy that probably is gone. And poor Buddy Hield, man. I think
good old Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield. I bet you any money Jimmy Butler is trying to, convince the brass to bring him back. That's his buddy. That's his buddy. Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield are buds, man. And you could argue that Jimmy Butler hasn't been the same since, dude. After he left.
That's it. My buddy's gone.
So as far as free agents to target, so I mentioned they need a backup point guard, they need a backup shooting guard, dude. All these guys would be perfect. I mean, dude, these guys are perfect. Kobe White, perfect. Colin Sexton, perfect.
That's
Anthony
the one that
Simons.
I think you're on with Colin Sexton. I think he would be perfect.
Oh, dude, Anthony Simons too. I mean, Chris Middleton's a little old, but he still can shoot. Tim Hardaway. These guys are all perfect fits. This is an up-and-coming team, very athletic team. If you look at their starting 5, I mean, they have Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels is their point guard, really, really good. I really like Dyson Daniels a lot. He emerged to be like a really good defensive kind of presence, as far as a point guard type. And he's, you could argue he's the main reason, even though he's not listed as their point guard, he's probably the reason why they kind of moved away from Trae Young, in my opinion, because they played better without Trae Young in this lineup. But right now they have listed C.J. McCollum as their point guard. They have Nickeil Alexander-Walker as their shooting guard. He's a really good player too, really good defensive guy. Dyson Daniels, we already mentioned him, but he's listed as a small forward. Man, he's kind of a small forward. But and then you have power forward Jalen Johnson, and then center Onyeka Okongwu. So as I mentioned, they have a backup point guard of Gabe Vincent, and then backup shooting guard of Corey Kispert. Now they have newly acquired Aaron Wiggins to be their backup small forward. What does that mean for Jonathan Kuminga? Does he go to become a small forward, or does he stay at power forward? We shall see what that means for him. Jock Londale is their backup center, and Zachary Reese-Archet, dude. I mean, this guy is like 3rd on the depth chart right now. He's the number 1 pick. He was their number 1 pick a few years back. You can say that he's probably teetering on the bust side right now, unfortunately, because he hasn't necessarily played to his draft position or draft potential just yet. You never know. So we shall see. And then they have Austin Newell, who was a guy that was drafted 2 years ago. He's really deep on the depth chart, but he was a guy that they considered a pretty good defensive kind of wing kind of player, power forward type. And he hasn't really sniffed the court. So anyway, as far as AI has projected Yaxel Lendeborg to be drafted here at the 8th position.
I know that's a no.
All right, but as far as who are our draft targets? I put down Ade Mata of Michigan would be a guy that they could target. Keaton Wagler, although he's already gone. So at number 8, the Keaton Wagler's gone. So it could be Lendeborg. You never know. Now, as far as the number, they have the 23rd pick as well in the first round. Alan Grays out of Santa Clara is a power forward that I think that would be a good fit for him. Henry Visar out of North Carolina as a center would be another guy that they can consider at the 23rd pick. And then at the 57th pick, which is the second round, tomorrow's draft, Milos Uzan is their point guard, is a point guard that they can target out of Houston. And then Melvin Council, a point guard out of Kansas. So that is the draft preview for the Atlanta Hawks. All right, man. So who was the best?
The pick is in.
All right.
They went with Kingston Fleming.
Kingston Flemings. All right.
Yes.
So let me ask you, man, who did we say as the best Atlanta Hawk of all time?
Dominique Wilkins?
Absolutely. Do you see anybody here that could displace Dominique Wilkins on recent history for the Atlanta Hawks?
No.
I don't see it either.
No, I don't see it. Not right now.
No, nowhere close. I think that Dominique Wilkins is going to be the best all-time Atlanta Hawk for years to come. I don't see anybody coming close to that guy for that. Maybe not in our lifetime, bro. We shall see. We shall see. But hey, this is a pretty interesting little player here, man. Kingston Flemings. I like this guy. Remember, he was one of the guys that was drafted in our little fantasy draft that we had in Reno. He was
correct.
I think he was drafted by my brother-in-law, Mike. He was on his team, and he actually had an okay tournament. But I think he's a decent player. I mean, he's a lottery pick player. He's decent, man. So we shall see. But this is, I think, an interesting little pick by the Atlanta Hawks, man.
I agree. They're bolstering their backcourt. They picked up some backcourt players. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. But this is an interesting pickup.
Absolutely, man. All right, so now on the clock are the Dallas Mavericks.
The Dallas Mavericks. All right, so
you project. Who did you project here, man?
So the targets that I picked here were Mikael Brown Jr., Braden Burris, and
he's still there. Nate Ament.
Nate Ament. I think they're going to go with Nate Ament. That's who I think they're going to go with here.
Okay.
I think Dallas needs, I think there's been a lot of talk about their size and what they're going to do with the players that they have. So I think they may go with a little size. I believe Nate Ament is 6'9", 6'10", somewhere in that range. I think they're it's a little bit of a gamble, but I think they're in a position to do it. Obviously, some things that need to be decided here. And so what I put as roster needs were some perimeter shooting, wing depth, which maybe Nate Ament could provide. Point guard, secondary playmaker was what they're looking for. Players that are likely gone: Dante Exum, Spencer Dinwiddie, Daniel Gafford. He was the one that I was thinking about. I think that he's most likely gone, and I think Nate Ament could be a player that could backfill for him or fill in. Obviously, they traded Anthony Davis as well. So the Dallas Mavericks went from being a really large team to potentially, becoming a smaller team. Not necessarily a small team, just smaller to what they have been in the past. So we'll see. We'll see what they do here, but it's exciting. It's exciting.
So now the AI, the crack smoking AI tool that we've used, Keaton Wagler was projected to be the pick, although he's already gone. He's gone. According to AI, the best available players that have not been drafted yet at this position are Nate Ament. That's your prediction, and then Yaxel Lindenborg, and then Adai Mara would be. Adai Mara would be another guy that those are the three best players right now available at this position. And in
case everyone's wondering why I keep leaving Luxembourg alone, Yaxel is because I want Yaxel to go to the Warriors. So that is why I keep throwing in these snide remarks about leave that guy alone. Leave that guy alone.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I hear you, bro. So let's see. We got let me see. The next on the docket, it was we already talked. The Mavericks are coming up here, so
correct.
We already talked about them. So
we talked about them a little. Greatest Dallas Maverick. Let me think.
Yep. Come on, man. Who did we pick?
Yeah. No, it's Dirk.
No, actually,
Dirk Nowitzki.
Let me see. Did we pick? Let me see. Did we pick them? Let me see. The Mavericks. We picked.
Gotta be Dirk.
Where's the Mavs? Mavs. Dude, I can't see them.
Okay. It has to be Dirk. I don't know how we would have not picked Dirk.
We picked Luka Doncic.
Oh no, that's Dirk is obviously he's been traded.
Yeah, so now it's Dirk.
It's Dirk.
Okay,
it should have been. To be honest, maybe we were on crack on that one. There's a lot of crack going around lately. So, maybe we were. I don't know why we picked Luka over Dirk, given how little time he had been there. But yeah, reassessing it should be Dirk.
Now, let me ask you this: do you see Cooper Flagg supplanting Dirk as the best Maverick of all time?
I think there's the potential there. As of right now, what I've seen in season one, no, he's a player. As I've seen in season one, maybe. I wouldn't say that I'm like super confident. I'm thinking there's a 30% chance he could do it right now would be where I'm at, less than half. But we'll see. Oh, here we go.
All right, man. So you're saying
they took Morez Johnson Jr.
Did they really?
Yes, I knew this guy was going up the charts, man. Not who I thought they would take, but they took Morez. I think this is a good pick, Eddie. I think this is a good pick. This kid is a defensive player. His offense can't shoot too good offensively, but he's a defensive demon. I've been kind of watching him a little bit, and because he was a potential pick for the Warriors, so I kind of did a little more in-depth review of him. I think this is a good pick for them, and he's getting drafted significantly higher than the mocks had predicted.
I agree, but dude, I mean, the Mavericks, dude, they have Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, Marvin Bagley. They have PJ Washington. I mean, PJ Washington's more of a power forward type, but still, I mean, Musa.
Yeah,
Cease,
but I think Gafford. Yeah, I think Gafford. They're gonna shop him. Yeah, whatever they're gonna do. I think he's doomed to leave the team. However that's gonna be done, I don't know yet. Bagley, come on, dude. Like that dude's just he's. I mean,
what about Lively? What about Lively?
No, Lively. So I'm thinking they're maybe thinking of a Lively Morris Johnson back front court. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but they have PJ Washington at power forward. He can shoot.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know the answers to this, but I do know that I feel this is a good pick from a defensive perspective. From a defensive perspective, this guy's going to get you some rebounds. He's very active. He's a lob threat. I do like it, and maybe they're looking at it as, we've got our future center and our future point guard, and anyone who's building a team would say if you got a center and a point guard, that's the way to go. And they're both roughly the same age, so we'll see how they do. But I personally I like this pick for them. I wouldn't have been unhappy if the Warriors took this guy either. I think this is an exciting player with some potential. My only concern around him is the offensive side. But as you and I have noted, more often than not, a lot of star players have come in as defensive specialists and then expanded their offensive game and become really, really, really good players. And I think that this guy has the foundation to do that. Whether his offense will develop or not, to be seen. And it's harder, right? Most of the players that we're talking about were guys like Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook. These are guys that are smaller players. He's actually a bigger player, so we'll see. I don't ever really see his three-point shooting being a key part of his game, but in terms of lob threat, in terms of blocking shots, in terms of rebounding, I think that I like this pick. That's just I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
I know I've said it like 6 times already, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we got the Bucks now are on the clock, and the Bucks just did a massive trade before the draft. I mean, shook the world, man. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think that he was the 11th or 12th pick. I forgot what pick he was for the Bucks. He was this young, skinny, kind of gangly guy. He just became this force of a power forward kind of / point guard / small forward. He does everything. This guy's a beast. Now he got traded to the Miami Heat in exchange. I mean, it's Bobby Portis and Giannis Antetokounmpo in exchange for Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware, and 3 first-round picks, including a pick in this draft. That's a lot, dude.
And I believe 2 pick swaps.
And 2 pick swaps. Yes.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, the Bucks got a deal, bro. They got a deal.
I'm gonna poke some fun here.
Okay.
Players likely gone. Okay, you put Giannis, which good call.
Yes.
But 2 players that are almost likely gone now are 2 other players with the last name Antetokounmpo. They're gonna
That's right.
They're gone.
That's right.
They are
Thanasis. Thanasis is gone, man.
Alex as well. Alex
Antetokounmpo,
Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Here we are busting LeBron's chops for putting his kid on the team, and freaking Giannis has put his whole freaking family on the squad, dude. Where's Mama Antetokounmpo, dude? When's she gonna put on a jersey? Let's go.
Right. Well, hey, dude, one thing I had to say though, I did put this as a team that was going to do a draft day trade right around the draft, and I was right. The Bucks were one of the teams, and the Heat. The Heat was another one that I picked. So, and so far I've got 3 with the Hawks, the Bucks, and the Heat. Not bad, man. You have the Bulls. You have the Bulls, the Nets, And let's see. Essentially, yeah, that's it for right now. The Bulls and the Nets so far.
Yep.
Dude, so as far as the what AI says, Ade Mata or Yaxel Lendeborg or the two, but
Dude.
right now it has Ade Mata at the slot, but Yaxel Lendeborg is the best available according to AI. So
let me ask you this: how confident do you think Milwaukee is in Ryan Rollins' future as a starting point guard?
I think they really like him, man. I mean, he turned out to be a pretty damn good player. So you have him as the point guard. You have Tyler Hero, kind of a slash point guard, shooting guard type. You now have Jaime Jaquez as their small forward. Kyle Kuzma, I don't know, man. I think his days are numbered there in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I think he's gone, especially for that price tag.
Yeah, and then Miles Turner, I don't know what's going to happen with him either. You have Khalil Ware now there. Khalil Ware is a decent player. You have Kevin Porter as a backup shooting guard. Kevin Porter emerged as a pretty damn good player too. I forgot Kaspers Jakashunas out of Illinois was also included in this package for Milwaukee to get from the Heat, in exchange for the Bucks. So they have Ousmane Dieng as another guy, Pete Nance. So this team. They're rebuilding, man. They're retooling, and they got draft capital and a few good young pieces in Jaime Jaquez, Tyler Hero to build around, along with Ryan Rollins. So that was a good trade for him. And Khalil Ware as a backup, so I think that's a good trade for him, man. Good job.
So the reason I was asking about Rollins is because they got this guy LeBaron Fallon from point guard out of Alabama, who's been kind of floated about as being somewhere in this range. I'm curious if they might pick him up. Oh, well, here we go.
So the Bucks select.
They went with Braden Burris.
Did they really?
Yes.
And that's a lot of the Warriors fans were thinking that he'd be the guy.
Yep. All right, here we go.
So here you go, man. Do you think that they take? Do you think that they take? The Warriors are on the clock now, man. So do you think that they're going to take Yaxel?
Yeah.
Or do you think they take Lendeborg? Or, dude, the other thing that I've heard is that the Warriors were also kind of thinking about making the trade of the 11th pick and go back and maybe even try and dangle the 11th pick to try and get someone like a Trey Murphy from the Pelicans. So
I've all of that before. So yes, I would want Yaxel. I want to be clear. So let me go. I haven't done the Warriors preview. This is one of the ones that are on me. So let me just go through the ratings here, and we'll talk about it as we go. So offensively, the Warriors were 113.8 points per game, good for 19th. Defensively, 114.4 games, good for 16th. They had a negative rating of negative 0.5, which was good for the 20th in the league. Bench scoring, 27, 69.7, which doesn't surprise me because there's a lot of injuries. There's a lot of people that they had a lot of different starters. Bench scoring, they're 45 points a game at third. What do they need? I think they need another star, a younger star, right? Not a Giannis or a Durant or anything. I think they need a younger star in the making. I don't think Yaxel's that guy. So I'm gonna be clear right now. I don't think Yaxel fits that. They need a center that can play and not be hurt and not be old, right? We've got Post there. I'm not sure what his future holds, but he really kind of fell off a cliff towards the tail end of last season. Especially once they got Porzingis. They need shooting. I know it's an odd thing to say about a Steph Curry team, but they need other people that can shoot. They need perimeter defense. And to me, one of the most important things is they need a play creator. Someone who, a lot of times when Steph isn't in there, that offense goes stagnant. They can't get to the cup. And they need that someone that can do that. Where are they in the cap? 30th in the cap. Absolutely the worst team, 119.5 million.
Crazy, man.
I think that it's likely they do a trade, but to me, it's more of a second round pick up a pick or trade away the pick type thing. Players likely gone. Seth Curry, I think he played like 4.5 games for us this past year. Charles Bassey, Nate Williams, and I do think DeAnthony Melton is going to be gone.
You think he's gone?
Yeah, I think he's gone. I think he's going to get more money somewhere else, but we'll see. Draft targets that I had at the 11th pick. Yaxel Lendeborg, like I mentioned. Braden Burris, who's gone. Morris Johnson, who's gone. Ade Mara, and the guy that I think in my gut, I think they're going to go with is Cameron Garr. shooting guard, small forward out of Baylor. I think they're going to go with this guy, even though I want Yaxel. I think this is what they're going to do. And then for their 54th pick, I had a guy, Tucker DeVries, small forward out of Indiana. He's an elite shooter. He's got good size for a wing. We'll see how that works out. But that was kind of my stats here for the Warriors. I do want Yaxel. Go ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So what I was going to tell you is that at number 11, AI had Braden Burries to be selected here. Now, the two best available players that have not been drafted yet are Yaxel and Ade Mata, which is interesting because we have a short that we just recently released about that decision where I asked you, who do you want? Right? And you said you wanted Yaxel, but it really depended on who stays and who goes on the roster.
Correct.
So
it does.
Porzingis is gone, Al Horford's gone, then Ade Mata's the guy. Those guys are still on the team. So is your prediction still going to be
Porzingis is a free agent, so I'm sure they've had conversations. Yaxel to me is the bigger gamble. And the reason he's the bigger gamble is because he only played like 20 plus minutes per game for Michigan. They really used him. So his conditioning is in question. He's a bigger player.
He is a bigger guy.
He's not as developed as Yaxel is. Obviously, Yaxel's the oldest, I believe, college player in this draft. He'll be 24 when he puts on an NBA uniform. But I think Mara potential. I won't say even potentially. Mara has the higher upside, but he also has a lower floor. So so I see him as more of a gamble. I think Yaxel's exactly what they need. They need some size. They need someone who can attack the hoop. He can do all of those things. Yes, I think he's perfect here. But I do think they're going to go with Cameron Carr. I think they want a wing player. Guy has really stepped up this. Yeah, Guy's has really stepped up this past season. Whether or not he's going to be a starter, I mean, we could have a discussion around that. But I want Yaxel. I think they're going to go Carr.
So Cameron Carr, according to AI, is the 17th best player in this draft, according to AI. But they had Darius Acuff at 15. He got drafted already. Morris Johnson was 13. He got drafted already. So they have Braden Burries, Dalen Swain, right around this area as the next two picks. And then they all, as I mentioned, Yaxel and Ade Mata are the two best available that have not been drafted yet. So it's kind of in line, like I said, with our short, where this decision point is correct here for the Warriors. And
correct. I think Ade Mata is the wild card here.
Okay. I'm saying Yaxel's going to be picked. That's my call. And you're saying
I'm hoping Yaxel gets picked, but I think it's going to be Cameron Carr.
So let me ask you, do you think because I heard like there was grumblings that the guy who was just picked, Braden Burr.
Yeah,
I think the guy that the Warriors.
Oh no, I think that if he was still available, that's what they would have took. Yeah.
You think they would have taken him?
Yes, I think they would have taken him. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Lilliputian army continues.
That's what I'm saying. I think the fan base is tired of this, dude.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Eddie, but this has been the trend. I think this is what they're going to do. I hope I'm gone. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong, but I think this is this is the route they're going to go, and we'll see. Like I mentioned, I don't think he's that star, but I do think he's a bigger player. He's got some good interior defense. He shoots. I wouldn't call him an elite shooter. I was watching his shot. It's a little, Anthony Corral type shot, where it's a little hand to the side, not quite underneath, a little bit of a knuckleball. But we'll see what they do here. Like I said, I'll be really happy if they take Yaxel. So,
hey, bro, let me ask you something. We forgot to, we over, the Kings were selected they had a few picks ago. But we've been kind of talking about the best players from each franchise. Do you remember who we picked for the Kings? The best player franchise history for the Kings.
Mitch Richmond.
Yeah, Mitch Richmond.
Yes.
That's who we put. Now, for the Warriors, who's the pick right now? That's easy.
Steph.
Right?
Yeah, it's
exactly.
Steph. We picked Steph, and it is Steph. And there's nobody right now that would
on either. Nobody from the Kings nor the Warriors that are going to challenge that title as the best of their franchise.
Correct. Not at the moment. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
And then before them, did we go over the Bucks?
No, we did not. So you know who we picked there, bro.
Did we pick Kareem?
No, we picked Giannis.
Okay. All right. I didn't remember.
Giannis. But now he's no longer there, so it might have to be Kareem. But but Kareem left to go to the Lakers.
Yeah,
and
more of his career was a Laker.
He's more of a Laker. He won 5 titles with the Lakers.
I agree. But what's interesting is he won as many championships as Giannis did for his. All right, here we go, Eddie. Aha!
Yeah.
Yes! Yes!
Yaxel?
Yes! They took Yaxel.
Yeah.
I'm super happy with this.
Dude, Warriors Nation is totally loving this.
Dude.
Dude, the Warrior Nation is loving this, man.
Oh, this is such a good pick, in my opinion. We'll see if next year I'm complaining about it when we're doing next year's draft. But I'm happy. I am happy with this pick.
Dude, this is and you nailed it. You know.
Yeah.
This was the guy that we should pick. You know, in the short.
This is the guy that I was saying they should take when we were watching the tournament. You know, I'm like, we need to take this guy.
Exactly, dude. Right on, man. Right on. All right, so we got now on the clock here is, you see, we're at number 11. We're at the Thunder. The Thunder are next.
Yes, we are. Right, we are.
So we already covered these guys in the pre-draft. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over some of the draft highlights picks. So right now, according to the what I had here at number 12, Braden Burries was a guy that I had targeted. LeBaron Thalon is another guy that I also had targeted. And then, you know, we had Nate Ament here, who was also targeted at this time. So, and I think Nate Ament's already been taken. Is that right?
No, he has not.
No, he has not.
Nate Ament and LeBaron and Thalon, are still available.
So Nate Ament would be the guy that I thought that they would take. Now, according to let's see, we have, according to AI, at number 12, we have Dalen Swain as the pick, the small forward out of Texas.
That's what AI says?
That's what AI says. So Nate Ament is the best available. I forgot. I thought Nate Ament was taken, which I was saying that Yaxel and Ade were the best available. Nate Ament is actually the best available right now. And he has slipped because according to, you know, the AI, he was the 7th best player in this draft.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a project, you know, and I don't know if I'd agree with AI where, you know, 7th best player. The one that's a little bit of a wild card here, Eddie, and I'm going to ask you is, how concerned do you think the Thunder are at Chet Holmgren's play versus Wemby?
Say it again. Say it again. One more time.
How concerned?
Yes.
Do you think the Thunder are
with Chet Holmgren
at Chet Holmgren's play versus Wemby?
Oh, so that tells you that they might be leaning towards a Dave Mata now. That's what I'm asking, and I'm thinking that in the back of my mind. You know, you pick up a younger center. You see this year how he plays against Wemby, and then you potentially have a trade chip in Chet Holmgren down the road if he pans out. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. But Lord knows the Thunder has enough picks to make these kind of decisions. That's not a bad pick, man. The Thunder are going to just get richer no matter who they pick here, man.
Correct.
Right? No matter who they pick. And they might just take a flyer in Nate Ament now. And, here's the thing. They got rid of Aaron Wiggins, who's a small forward. So, and then Jalen Williams is their starting small forward. So they might take Nate Ament, who was a small forward here.
Correct.
Go
ahead, finish.
No, I was going to say, it's either going to be LeBaron Thalon or Nate Ament, because in my opinion, I don't know if Shea should be a point guard. He is a point guard, but I don't know if he should be a point guard. He's more kind of a tweener. He's kind of lanky, strong, long. He'd be better, I think, as a combo 2 guard with sometimes taking point guard responsibilities. But I think they need a real true point guard type. So
I'm gonna go Mara. I'm gonna go with the dark horse Mara.
Okay, I'm gonna say Nate Ament. Nate Ament.
Okay, you're going Nate Ament. I'll go with Mara, and I think that if they draft Mara, that's the end of Hartenstein. They're going to trade him or see what they can do, and it's a cheaper alternative. It's a lower cap hit to have Mara and Chet Holmgren be the centers, and it also addresses what I mentioned earlier, which was one of my concerns about Mara was he was only playing 20 minutes a game.
Yes,
and if he goes onto that team, I don't see him having a need to play more than 20 minutes a game. So I think he's a good fit here for a lot of reasons. They get cap because they traded Wiggins, not because they didn't like him, but because it was a cap casualty.
Yeah.
Hartenstein also they paid, so they'll be paying a rookie contract. So that is also a relief in cap. So the more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards Mara here.
Okay, I'm saying Nate Amen. All right.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. As far as the best player in Thunder history,
Durant.
who did you? Kevin Durant. That's who we picked.
Yeah, Durant.
Now, do you see anybody on this current Thunder squad that can supplant him?
Yes, SGA. Okay. Yes, absolutely. SGA.
Okay, so
I would argue that he's already surpassed them because you brought a championship.
Because there's more championships.
Yeah, he brought a championship to the organization, and Durant never did. So I still think Durant's the more complete player offensively. Sorry, offensively, not complete as in everything. Yes. But I think SGA is probably, if I'm a Thunder fan, I'm probably pulling for SGA, especially given how Durant left and all that. You know, that would be part of my consideration. So I would go with SGA. I think yes, Durant's been surpassed.
Okay, all right, I hear you, man. So so let me go ahead and go over the roster of the Oklahoma City Thunder. So we looking at the depth right now. So the depth shows. I say a point guard is needed. That's why I'm thinking Nate Amen is a small forward, but correct. I wouldn't LeBaron Fallon. I wouldn't be surprised if they take him because of point guard.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying I think that Mara's the dark.
Mara's the guy.
I think that
they have the depth to take a flyer here as a project. And
correct.
And I don't want to say he's a flyer, but they already have someone like him in Chet Holmgren. They would have two. They would have two Chet Holmgrens now.
Yeah.
Essentially, right? And therefore they probably feel that they have a better chance of stopping Wemby with two guys like him.
Yes.
Like Chet. So the point guard is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They have Lou Dort as their shooting guard. They have Jalen Williams, who got hurt a lot. Well, the pick is in. And you're saying a day?
That's who they took.
Did they really?
I don't show the picture unless they took it, my man.
Wow, dude, you're hot, bro.
Yeah,
you are hot.
Hartenstein's out. And if I'm Chet, I got a little itch in my back. I got a little tiny itch in my back. That's all I'm gonna say. There's a fly around here.
Dude, that was a good pick, dude. Good call, dude. Good call.
Yeah.
Dude, Nate Amen is just slipping, dude.
He is, but again, I would say that he's the most project player in this lottery pick. Right? I would say that. He's the most. He's got a lot of upside, but there's a lot of project work that you have to do with him.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, dude, good pick, dude. All right. So Ade Mata is the guy. Probably could take him down since he's already done. He's gone.
That's it.
So now we are on to the Miami Heat. The Miami
Which is
Heat
now the Bucks,
They just got Giannis. And dude, that is a conference shifting move that the Miami Heat just pulled off. Now, we haven't done
the Bucks pick, right?
This
is now a Bucks pick. This is now the Bucks pick.
I don't think. I don't. Oh yeah, you're right. I think it is the Bucks pick.
Yeah, I believe this is the. I don't. So the transaction must not be official, which is why they have Miami still here listed. But I believe this is a Bucks pick.
Okay, so that they're probably making the pick for the Bucks.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean it's still going to be Miami. I think that because the trade is not officially done yet, they have to legally say it's going to be,
correct. If you look it up, I think that. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find some information about it.
So, all right. So let's see. So right now I have Miami Heat, but I have to do a pre-draft preview of the Miami Heat since we have not covered them yet. All right. Yep. So offensive rating, the Heat, they were 13th in the league last year at 116.71 points per game. That's points per 100 possessions. That's their average. Defensive rating, they were 13th at 114.54. And net rating, they are at 2.18, 13th. Dude, they were 13th across the board. And dude,
lucky 13.
My lucky number is 13, man, because that's my birthday date. The 13th of February. That's my birthday, baby. So 13 is always been lucky in my book, man. And now the Miami Heat are the lucky team. in my opinion. So now they're lucky not only because of that, but because now they have Giannis. And now this team with Giannis is seriously a dangerous team. They have currently on the roster, they have Davion Mitchell, who is their point guard. Although I think he's probably not really a true point guard, but he's their point guard. Norman Powell is their shooting guard. Andrew Wiggins is their small forward. Giannis is now their power forward, and now Bam Adebayo. Dude, that is a front court to deal with right there.
That is a handful.
That is a handful. And then they have Bobby Portis coming off the bench to take over either Giannis or Bam Adebayo, depending on who needs the breather. You got Pelle Larson, who actually emerged to be a pretty good player out of Arizona, to be backup to Norman Powell. You have Drew Smith, who is their backup point guard. So they're in dire need of more point guard depth, in my opinion. So I that's who I think they need. That's what they need now. As far as their scoring, how they look from a roster scoring standpoint, starter scoring, they were 20th in the league at 77.1 points per game. Bench scoring, they were 4th, 43.8 points per game. Now, roster need, I said a true point guard. And I think they need one superstar player, which they just got. Okay. So that's why I'm saying they're going to be a problem now. Now, as far as salary cap, they're 16th in the league. They're at 69.8 million above the cap. So, that's not that bad. And as far as a draft day trade, I said likely. And sure enough, we were proven right on that one. Likely gone, players that are gone. I think Andrew Wiggins is likely going to be dealt, in my opinion. He's at $30.1 million. I think that's a pretty big price tag for him. Kel'el Ware, we already know he's gone. He got traded.
He's gone.
Norman Powell is another one that could be traded. He's $30.7 million. So, and I think that, some of the players that they could target in free agency that I think fit the squad would be Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet, I think, is a good pick. Kobe White, Kevin Porter of the Bucks, although now, they probably would have shipped them, part of this trade if they really wanted to trade him. But Kevin Porter is the guy that I thought would be a free agent they could target. Dennis Jenkins of the Detroit Pistons, I think, is a good pick. Brandon Williams of the Dallas Mavericks. I think he'd be a good Miami pickup. And this is mainly because of point guard. They need a point guard, man, a decent point guard. And I think they, like I said, lights or a night off, that's his nickname, for
off night.
The off night, that's his name, off night for Davion Mitchell. I like that. That's a great nickname, man. So
that is a great
I think
nickname.
they just need another point guard. So as far as draft picks, so they have one here in the first round, 13th pick. I know Toine, you were looking to see if this is
Milwaukee's pick. This is
Milwaukee's making this pick. So so right now, what I had here before the draft was Kareem Lopez would be a guy that would be picked here from NZ Breakers, and then Yaxel Lindenberg was another guy at this pick. Now this is going to go to the Bucks, but I still think these are potentially 2 picks. Now, according to the AI is saying that the 13th pick is Morez Johnson.
He's gone. He's gone.
Exactly. So now the best available are Nate Ament and Dalen Swain. Those are the guys that are.
Yeah, I think they're going with Nate Ament.
Nate Ament, okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Now, as far as the 41st pick, which is tomorrow, I have them as Joshua Jefferson, power forward out of Iowa State, and then Dylan Mitchell, small forward out of St. John's. That's the draft preview for the Miami Heat. Now, for best player in franchise history, who did we pick?
Dwayne Wade.
Exactly.
Dwayne Wade.
Do you see anybody in recent history that would take over Dwayne Wade as the best player in franchise history?
I don't think he'll do it. But the closest player right now is Bam Adebayo. Well, Giannis, obviously.
Bam Adebayo is a good pick, though.
Bam Adebayo, I would say right now is the closest, but no, not yet.
And dude, Bam Adebayo, 83 points last year. Who would do? That's going to be a trivia question for the ages. Who was the second highest scoring? Who has the second highest scoring game of all time after Wilt Chamberlain? Everybody's going to think Kobe Bryant.
Yep. Nope. Bam Adebayo.
Bam Adebayo. Who? All right, man. So hey, to buy some time, I wanted to go ahead and throw out some questions to kind of fill up some time when we are done with our pre-draft shows. So let me ask you something, bro. So, who are the top 5 players in the NBA today? Name them.
The top 5 players.
Yes.
Okay. Shea. SGA is one.
It doesn't have to be in order. Just top 5.
Yeah. SGA.
Okay.
Luka.
Okay.
Joker.
Okay. SGA, Joker.
Giannis.
Okay. I agree with that. You said Luka, right? You said Luka, SGA, Joker, Giannis.
Luka, SGA, Joker, and Giannis.
Okay.
That's who I have right now. The last one's hard because I want to say Wemby, but I don't know if he's quite there yet. I mean, he's a phenomenal player, but I don't know if I'd put him in the top 5 right now. But I don't know. I mean, you could look at Tatum, but he's had an injury season. Jaylen Brown. There we go. Called it again, Eddie. They took him in.
Nice, dude. You're on a roll, bro.
They took him in. Steph, I think, had an injured season. I think he's on the decline, so I wouldn't pick Steph. I'll go with Wemby. I can't think of anybody right off the top of my head to upseat him or to unseat him, I guess is the right word.
So that's where I would go. I asked this question of a buddy of mine whose dad played in the NBA.
Okay.
And he put down the guy that so he definitely put Shea in there.
Yep.
He put
what
was that?
How would I put this? I just thinking about this, I might swap Luka for Jalen Brunson.
That's who he put up there.
Yeah.
He put Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
He said he's a top 5 player now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have an argument about that, but I wouldn't say he's crazy. I would say he's nuts.
So what's interesting is that I picked Joker and he didn't put Joker. I thought that was really interesting.
See, that's
craziness. How would you? And his whole argument is because he needs good players around him and he needs somebody to get him the ball to be effective. And I'm like, nah, I don't know about that, bro.
I don't.
He's
agree.
up there, man. He's definitely one of the best players in the league, Joker. So, and you know who he put up there, bro? Without even thinking about it. So he put Brunson. He put Curry.
No, I wouldn't. I love Curry. But Curry today, no. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He put Curry. No. Put Curry, Shea, Brunson, Luka, and I forgot who the last one. I don't think it was Giannis either. It might have been. I forgot who the last one was. But anyway, so my top 5, in my opinion, Luka's up there for sure. Joker for sure. That's no question. Giannis for sure. I put Shea there, and then number 5 is the one where I have kind of like.
So you had the same 4 I had. We said the same exact 4.
Yes,
and that's why I put Wemby in there, but I'm not.
He's not there yet, but he's got the potential to be there.
But you know what? This year I would say then Jalen over Wemby. So instead of Wemby, I'd have Jalen this particular year as we're going right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
But if I'm having a draft, I'm drafting Wemby every time over Jalen. I don't really care.
I hear you, man.
Like
I hear
99 out of 100, I'm drafting Wemby.
So my number 5, and it's only because I'm a homer, I would go with Curry as number 5.
Curry.
That's
for me. I won't argue
Brunson's
that.
right there too.
I think I think Curry's the most exciting player. He's top 5 most exciting. But in terms of the best, no, his numbers are down. He's hurt all the time because he's older. Not all the time. I'm being a little unfair, but he's hurt often. He's not going to play I predict no more than 60 games per season, and that's if we're lucky going forward. So no, it's like you're saying LeBron. Like no, it's just not today.
Yeah, I hear
not today. LeBron is not top 5 today.
All right, man. So let's go on to the next. I have another draft pre-draft preview.
You do.
So I have the Hornets. The Hornets are on the clock right now, and they have 2 of the next 4 picks. So they have the 14th and the 18th pick here. So I'm going to go ahead and just cover the team right now for both. So for right now, the offensive rating of this team, they're 29th in the league at offense, which is interesting because they were kind of up and coming team in my opinion. that they looked pretty good, at times last year. But their offensive rating at 107.37, that's 29th in the league. That's very surprising, man. Defensive rating, they're 24th at 116.65. Net ratings, negative 9.28. That's 27th in the league. Now, as far as the roster scoring composition, starter scoring is 71.3 points per game. That's 24th best in the NBA. Bench scoring, 21st at 33.8 points per game. This is kind of like in line with their ratings, right? Their starter and bench scoring kind of correlates to their ratings of their team as far as their offensive defensive net. So that's interesting. One of the first ones that we've seen that's kind of correlating so far. Roster needs. So I said a couple of vets with playoff experience, I think is sorely needed by this team. And I think they need a dirty work center and a power forward. So they still need a lot of work here. As far as salary cap, they're the third best in the NBA. They're only $22.3 million above the salary cap. That's third best. Again, nobody else, is under the cap. Everybody's over, but it's just a matter of magnitude above that we're talking about. With number one being Memphis, I think Memphis was number one. They were about $1 million over the cap, which is crazy. That's crazy. They're that flexible. So draft day trade, I said likely. Okay, now the reason why I said likely is because 14th and 18th, that's could be coveted by some guys who are trying to move down. And I thought maybe the Warriors might be a team that may have tried to move down to try and get the players that they wanted. I think they probably thought Yaxel, because he wasn't going to slip any further. That's why they just stayed with that pick. And I'm really happy with that pick too. But I still think it's likely that they're going to make a trade. Wouldn't be surprised if there's something announced here shortly, especially if it goes a little longer than anticipated in making this pick. So players that are likely gone. I have Josh Green. He's kind of expensive for not playing that much. $14.7 million is kind of expensive for a guy who doesn't play that much. Grant Williams is another guy. $14.3 million. That's kind of expensive for a guy that doesn't really play as much as he should. And to Johnny Salon, he's got a sister that plays for the Valkyries. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, does he? Okay. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where's Mike? Where's Mike?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have Mike here shortly. And for those of you who were talking about Mike, Mike's my brother-in-law. He is actually a avid WNBA fan, and because of that, we're gonna have a segment where we're gonna feature him to talk about the WNBA. So for those of you who are WNBA fans out there, or your wives or your spouses that are WNBA fans, we're gonna go ahead and have a segment here shortly. When kind of playoff time is kind of around the corner for the WNBA. That's probably we're going to bring in Mike at that time. But he's also an avid trading card guy for WNBA. That's where he's putting a lot of his money into it, which is interesting. An interesting kind of strategy to kind of boost up, buying a bunch of trading cards for the WNBA. All right, so free agents to target. So I have Nikola Vucevic. I think that would be a good center that they could go ahead and get. Zach Collins kind of meets that dirty work kind of center.
Ding.
Oh! I said Kareem Lopez or Hannes Steinbach would be the guys that I
Steinbach. They went with Steinbach.
Okay, that's who I kind of thought the Axel, Kareem, or Hannes Steinbach. All right,
Hannes Steinbach is an absolutely great home run for them. You said they needed a dirty work center power forward. This guy was the best rebounder in college basketball last year. Absolutely a dirty work guy.
Nice, man. All right.
Yeah, this is a very good pick for them. As a matter of fact, when I was reading your roster needs and I was looking, I was like, they're taking Steinbach. Like I knew they're taking Steinbach, if you want to say it right, I guess. But yes. I had a really strong feeling they were going to go with Steinbach here. Good pick.
All right. So
good job, Hornets.
Yeah, for sure. So so as far as other free agents that they could target now, I said Zach Collins and Nikola Vucevic. I also said Thomas Bryant and Bruce Brown, John Collins. Those are all guys that I think that would round up their roster pretty well. Now, we already know what their draft pick was at number 14. It's Hannes Steinbach, but they have another pick in about 4 more picks. And the draft targets that I had there at number 18 were Morris Johnson, who's gone, Chris Senack, who's another center who's out of Houston, and then Jaden Quaintance out of Kentucky, who's another center. So I have 3 centers that they could likely target, but they already have Steinbach. So he's a power forward type. So maybe we'll just get another guy to kind of beef up their front court. So that's the the Hornets pre-draft preview. All right, so now we got next on the clock. We have the Chicago Bulls
again.
So, yep, another pick by the Bulls. All right, so let's see
who they picked. So Caleb. They took Caleb Wilson first.
Yep. Oh, real quick before we get to there,
reminder for everyone. Yep.
Before we get there, before we forget, who did we pick as the best player in Hornets history as the franchise player?
Chris Paul.
Yeah, Chris Paul.
Yes.
Chris Paul. Now, do you see anybody here displacing Chris Paul for franchise? No. Okay. Nope. You know what's interesting? Let me tell you something. So we were talking about my brother-in-law, Mike. So I think I told you, we've talked about this on previous podcasts, but I made a bet with him, you know, when James Wiseman came in the league. And I made a bet because he's such a freaking UCLA Bruin, the UCLA Bruin guys who love their players, dude. They love their players, dude. It's amazing. Dude, because all I heard about last year was a day Mata. He's the best. This is the best, right? And then he goes to Michigan, not one peep out of him about a day Mata, right? Betrayer. But anyway, I made a bet with him about, the best player in that class when James Wiseman, and I said that it was going to be between him and LaMelo Ball. I asked him, okay, who's going to be the better player? And of course, I played to what he would normally say. He's going to pick the UCLA Bruin, no matter what. So UCLA Bruin was picked, and I lost that bet. And we bet a minimum of a $500 bottle of whiskey, minimum. So,
dude, is Wiseman out of the league? That's the $1 million.
I think he is out of the league. He is. I think he is out of the league. Why not why not bring him back on the Warriors? Why not?
I would, but
why not?
I mean, at this point, you got nothing to lose other than if he gets hurt. I mean, you bring him on for the absolute minimum. I don't even know what he qualifies for. Like, I mean, the vet minimum is probably like $2 million or something. But,
exactly, brother. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, man. So I know you're up at number 15. So I know that this is your team that you covered. So
I did. Yeah. Just so the targets that I had here were Braylon Mullins, who's still available, Kareem Lopez, who I think that's who they're going to go with, just for the record, and then I had Hans Steinbach, which obviously just got drafted the pick before. So I think they're going to go with Kareem Lopez. They do need a two-way wing, kind of three-point shooting. This guy kind of fits that profile. And so I think they're going to go with Kareem Lopez. I still have them highly likely for a trade. This could be a potential trade pick, although I don't think they're going to do it. It is a possibility here, but I think Kareem Lopez is our guy. Okay. And obviously, playing the game, we already played the Bulls game with Jordan. No one's surpassing Jordan, so there's not even any point.
Nobody's picking.
And the closest up till now, obviously, the closest is Pippen, but obviously it's not Pippen. I would say Derrick Rose has been the closest player since Jordan retired, but again.
What about Josh Giddey, bro? Josh Giddey.
No. Take it easy. Take it easy.
What about your boy, man? Your boy,
Bucelis?
Yeah, Bucelis.
Just wait. Yeah, this is his year. Bucelis is coming out. This is his breakout season.
Exactly.
Watch out. Watch out with Bucelis.
So AI, all right. So let me just tell you, AI is the crack smoking AI tool that I have right now. Yep. They had Darius Acuff here to be picked.
He's gone.
Now, the best available players that have not been drafted, according to AI, are Dalen Swain, small forward out of Texas, and then Ibuka Okori, point guard out of Stanford. Those are the two players best, according to AI, that are available right now for picked.
No,
also, and then Kareem Lopez is number 18 on AI's list.
What pick is this? Are we on 18?
No, we're on 15.
We're on 15. Yeah, no, I think Kareem Lopez goes here.
Okay, yeah, and then the other guy that you brought up, Cameron Carr, you thought maybe the Warriors might take him.
Yep.
He is 17th on this list.
Okay.
So he's before Kareem Lopez.
Okay.
So
I'm so glad I was wrong, by the way. I'm so glad they didn't take Carr. I wanted Yaxel.
Same here. Dude,
Yaxel.
I could just imagine, dude, tomorrow, like the talk shows, they're going to be going like just nuts over this guy, dude.
Yeah,
I think so. Even though he's older, he's going to be 24. It's okay, man.
Well, no, but when you think about it, it fits the Warriors' style. It's an older player who's ready to play now.
Yes.
It's a position of need. What I'm wondering is, what does this mean for Quentin Post? Right? That's number one. Number two, what does this mean for Draymond Green as a starter? is another question I have. Right? Can
Dude,
Yaxel come in and
what are they
start?
going to do with Draymond Green, dude? Let me ask you that. What do you think? Do you think that they're going to
Well,
re-sign him, pick up his
no,
player option? What
well,
do you think, man?
everything. Well, the option is his,
Yeah.
and I don't know if he's officially exercised it yet. But from everything that I'm hearing, is the Warriors have said they're not gonna restructure the deal and they're not gonna extend it. Because initially, what he said is, I believe he's got 24 million this year. I think he was willing to say, hey, give me 15 million per year, but add an extra year, right? So 15 million this year, 15 million next year. I get a little bit more, but it's lower in terms of per year. And from everything I've heard, the Warriors are like, nope. Like, okay. So I think this is Draymond Green's final year, which is going to be interesting, because if he starts to feel it, I wonder how much of a distraction he might be.
He might become a distraction, man. You're right. You're right.
He has that potential.
Draymond Green is a distraction to the entire team, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
But, right now, what are they going to do with Porzingis? We don't know if Al Horford is going to retire or not. I think that's still up in the air. So if they re-sign Porzingis, you have Yaxel. Let's say Yaxel plays well. I don't want to say he's going to be a starter right from the get-go, because I don't think Kerr's going to do that. But he may be the first guy off the bench. Guy Santos, who's had a good season. Who do we got here? Hold on. We got a pick coming in.
Oh. And this is by your Bulls.
Yeah. There it is. Dalen Swain. That's
who
they took.
So he was the best
wrong.
Available.
Yeah, they went with Dalen Swain.
All right, man.
So here we go. Let's share Mr. Swain here for the masses. Where are you? There I am. Kind of running the hot board here. Small forward out of Texas. Known quantity. I think Kareem Lopez is a little bit less known. He didn't go to college in the US. He's played in Mexico.
Yep.
For a professional team, which is something to be said there. But I think that, I don't know much about Dalen, so I can't really comment. But Texas is a good school. They've been doing well. So I think hopefully this is a decent pick. You got any background on Dalen? Any comps or anything?
Let's see if I can find him. Dalen Swain. Let's see. I'm still kind of. There's a lot of guys out there that are still available. Dalen Swain. So what I have right here, this comp is Herb Jones.
Oh, so he's a defensive player.
Defensive player. Jeremy Grant is another one. This guy's 6'7" and 1.5. His weight is 211 pounds. His reach is 6'10". So considered a high-level athlete. He competes on both sides, a lot of versatility. Struggles to shoot the ball, especially from deep. So he has a lot to do with his offensive skill set. So he's a defensive guy kind of first, but very athletic. So, and that's what scouts like. They like athletic guys mainly because of defense. Defense, wins in the NBA, especially in today's NBA, given what the Thunder have constructed, and now with the Spurs, they're also a very defensive-minded team now too. So that's what's in vogue right now in the NBA is defensive-minded kind of players. So, all right, bro. So we got now on the clock are the Memphis Grizzlies.
Correct.
And so they are at pick number 16.
Yes, they are.
We already talked about who the best player in Memphis Grizzly history and franchise history is. That's Mike Conley. So we don't have to go through that anymore. So, before we get into this, let me ask, because we were talking about Draymond Green. It might be his last year. This is a question I wanted to ask you. Would Draymond Green make a good coach?
Yes, I think he would.
Okay. Do you think that's
I think he would. And the reason I think he would make a good coach is because his success isn't on natural talent. His success is on grit, finding, intellectual, basketball IQ. And I think that the things that he's good at are coachable things.
Yes.
Now, of course, it depends on the motor, but I do think he'd be a good coach. But I also do think that he would have zero patience for players that aren't putting in 100%.
Which
I can see him being sort of Bobby Knight-ish.
He'd be like Popovich, kind of like.
Yeah, a little bit like Popovich. He'd have a short fuse. He'd be in your face. He'd tell you what's up. I think I think he needs to be out of the league for about 5 or 10 years before he could come back as a good coach. Because I'm going to poke a little fun at him. If anyone challenges him, I can see him getting physical with that player.
Interesting.
Like right now.
Yeah.
He's shown that in the past. I can see that being a risk.
So he doesn't have the maturity. He has the intellect to be a coach, but he doesn't have the maturity to be a coach.
Correct. I think he's a little bit, not too much, just a little too immature right now.
Interesting. And we talked about this in one of our past podcasts, most recent, when that article came out about Steve Kerr and the Warriors, and the relationship with Draymond Green, and and the books that he's been kind of telling Draymond Green to read and all this stuff. And it's interesting to find out that in that article that Steve Kerr and Draymond Green, at least according to Steve Kerr, they're very similar personality. They're very hot-tempered kind of guys. And a lot of this is kind of not very noticeable from Steve Kerr, because he's pretty, balanced guy. His temperament's pretty good, but you can see him get feisty. He can get feisty. And he has
correct.
He had to work at it to be able to be the guy that he is today. And maybe these years that he's had with Draymond Green, maybe some of this hopefully has sunk in, so that Draymond Green can kind of work on his maturity. He's gotten better, bro. I mean, honestly, he has gotten better.
Oh no,
he still has his tendencies, right?
Yeah, no, he has. I would say the fundamental difference that I see between Steve Kerr and Draymond Green is Kerr had a little better control over his emotions. I think they were equally passionate, equally fiery, but Kerr was a little more in control of his emotions. I think Draymond, more often than not, lets his emotions get the best of him. And right. I think that's where he's in trouble. I was watching him the whole postseason. He's part of the Inside the NBA. He's the honorary, kind of fifth guy there with Ernie and Shaq and all them.
Yep.
And he's got good insight. He when he talks, it's like, it's very I don't want to say believable, but it's very like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, it's very like you want to listen. He has he makes you want to pay attention and go, okay, yeah, I get that. I see that. And he's got different interesting angles. But I do think in the heat of competition, he's more prone to lose his cool. And so right now he just needs a little bit more mature. But I think that's a good comparison in terms of overall personalities. Kerr and Draymond, I think, are very similar. They're very passionate about things.
So let me ask you something. Who do you think has been, and this is kind of a question that's going to be hard for you to kind of tap and come up with an answer right away, but who are some of the coaches in recent memory in our lifetime that could have the same temperament as a Draymond Green as a coach? Who are there? Anybody that were? I already mentioned Greg Popovich. Would you say he's the guy that would be the closest to kind of being, a measure of what we see Draymond could become as a coach from a temperament standpoint?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd have to think about it. And you mean active coaches today? Not
it could be active or anybody. So,
I think a Pat Riley comes to mind.
That's not a bad call, man.
Yeah, I think a Pat Riley comes to mind historically. I think they're both, I think again Pat Riley's more like Mr. Cool, but he was equally passionate. So I would put Pat Riley as a guy. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Don Nelson is not like that.
No,
he wasn't a hothead.
And the thing about it is, I can think of coaches that have gone a little like Bobby Knight, for example. And Draymond's not like Bobby Knight. I mean, Bobby Knight he's all over. I mean, he's just, I think Draymond can be like Bobby Knight, but I don't think he is like Bobby Knight. So that would be like the extreme. Like that's kind of, okay, this guy's way off on left field. That's Bobby Knight, one end of the barometer. And then you have someone like Lenny Wilkins, for example, on the right. That is just Mr. Always Calm. So like if you're looking at each of these ends, Draymond's and those are the ends, and it's going 1 through 5. Draymond's somewhere in the 6-7 range, which is where I would put Pat Riley, where I would put Popovich. He's a little calmer, but don't be fooled by the head coach over at Miami right now. Spoelstra. He's sort of in that range too. He's in the 6-7 range. He's a little more heated. I think he can kind of hold his own. Outside of that, Tom Thibodeau, he's a fiery guy, but it's not the same thing. I don't see it as the same thing.
Mike Brown is chill.
Yeah, Mike Brown is calm. Maybe someone
Mitch
like Jerry
Johnson.
Sloan. Jerry Sloan would be someone
Yeah, he
that
was kind of
maybe
a
is
hothead.
comparable. Yeah, it
Actually,
was someone that
Jerry
would be
Sloan was a
comparable.
hothead, and he was known for being kind of a hothead player too, man.
Yeah,
so that might be the closest. That's a good call. Good pull, man.
Yeah. By the way, there's been a pick. The Grizzlies picked up the point guard Bennett Sturtz.
Yeah, I got that one. I got it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Cool. So and let me see. Did you have him on? You actually had him. Let me see. At number 16,
for the 16th pick. No, yep, which is already gone, and then Chris Senek.
Yep, Chris Senek.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we didn't get that one. All right. So now.
So I wonder if this is a little shot across John Morant's bow now. We got a point guard. We're done with your tomfoolery. We'll see. I put this as a highly likely trade.
Yes.
If they got their guy, if there was someone that they were focusing on for this pick, we could see a John Morant trade coming up.
Interesting. Yeah.
We'll see how this plays out. But
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. This was a guy he's been talked about a lot. I've heard him in a lot of mock drafts. I think he drafted maybe a little bit higher than people were.
For sure, because AI has him at 22.
Correct. So to me, this taking them at this position might be a statement. Might be saying, all right, we don't want to wait for our 32nd pick to see if he's still there. Let's take him now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're now at the 17th pick,
and look who's back.
It's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Jeez Louise.
Exactly. Now for the 17th pick,
I
had Yaxel Lendenborg already taken.
Yep.
Christian Anderson, point guard at a Texas Tech, and then Cameron Carr, shooting guard at a Baylor. Now Cameron Carr is still available.
Yep.
And this is AI had him being selected at 17 right here.
And I think I agree with AI.
Yep. And but the best available according to AI is Ibuka Okori, point guard out of Stanford. All the other guys have been taken. So Darius Acuff was at number 15 and Hannes Steinbach at number 16, according to AI. Again, according to AI. Everybody else has already been selected, but the best available, again, Ibuka Okori, and then Cameron Carr. And then after that would be Kareem Lopez.
I don't think they're going to go with Kareem Lopez. I think they're going to go with Cameron Carr here.
Okay.
I do agree with your observation that maybe they want to offset some of the point guard responsibilities to somebody else. And I wonder if this is why Sturtz was taken the pick right before, because maybe Memphis figured that
Thunder wanted to do that.
Thunder were going to take him here, so they wanted to beat him to the punch and not wait for the 32nd pick. So I'm wondering if any of that is at play. So I think they'll go with the best available player, and to me, I think that's Cameron Carr.
Okay. All right, man. All right, so I have a couple other questions in case we had any.
Look at you, all prepared and stuff. I love it.
I have to, dude. I have to be, bro. So you remember we had early on, I think like last year or maybe last year, I think we had a segment about we started this whole Mount Rushmore series.
Yes, I remember the Mount Rushmore.
And the Mount Rushmore series is fun, man. Actually, it's our highest viewed show yet. Right? We have. It's number one highest viewed show on Gremlings Media Entertainment. More of on the entertainment sports side, because they have a political side too, which I think they had something that was even more than that recently. But we had this segment on the most underrated and the most overrated players. Now, for those of you who have not tuned in, episode 7, which you can look on YouTube or any other platform. Episode 7, you just count, from the bottom all the way up. Episode 7, we talked about the most underrated players. And then episode 9, we talked about the most overrated players. And we have clips on those as well, in case you don't want to watch the full podcast. But what I wanted to ask you, bro, is in today's game, who would you classify as overrated?
All right.
Who's overrated in your mind? Now, I know
right now at this point.
Yep. Like who's considered overrated in the NBA today?
What's interesting is that you brought up these guys when you were talking about, and I think two of the most overrated players today are the two players that the Wizard picked up.
Anthony Davis and Trae Young?
Yes, I think they're two of the most overrated players right now today.
Nice, dude.
Trey, I would say is overrated because he's such a defensive liability, and his offense is really good, but it doesn't overcome his defensive liability. Like, I think and he's treated like a superstar. And so I would say he's probably one of the most overrated players. All right, hold on. We got a pick coming up. We got to pick who are the Thunder taking?
So
they took your guy. They took your guy, the guy that AI said, Obuka.
Oh, they did.
Yes.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah, it was right. Hey, we got to chalk one up for AI.
Yes, we do. Let me share that. Let me share the image there with everyone. Yeah, so I think Trae Young is one of the most overrated players. Let me think.
Let me ask you something. What do you think of Devin Booker? Is he overrated?
So I don't consider him in the upper echelon of players. So no, for me, I've never considered him there. So I wouldn't say he's overrated. I also think that he's been put in some pretty crappy positions. Like, there's been a lot asked of him that isn't really. I think he's been a complete team player, and he's done whatever's been done with. But I never really ranked him as one of like the A-level players.
Okay, what about Brandon Ingram? Brandon Ingram.
Yes, overrated. You know who else I would say is overrated, and he won a championship. I would say Jason Tatum's a little overrated.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe that's a little East Coast bias, man. Honestly.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's a lot overrated. He's not a schlub. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's a little overrated.
All right.
Yeah.
I got you.
What about
but dude, that's a good pull on Anthony Davis and Trae Young.
Yeah, I think they're both. Yeah, I think they're both overrated, and I think that the Wizards made a mistake trading for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about let me think of somebody else that isn't. So would you say okay, now that the Knicks won, okay?
Yes.
We're gonna hear about Brunson left and right, dude.
It went from here to here.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, and dude, Brunson showed up, dude. I gotta give it to him. That guy
absolutely
being a second round pick out of Villanova that slipped when I thought he was a really good player in college, only because of his size.
Yeah.
So there's examples just littered throughout the league of scouts who just got it wrong. And these were the guys that the scouts got wrong.
I agree.
Nikola Jokic is another one. Draymond Green is another one. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. There's all kinds of players that they hit. And it's because they're not, the scouts look at athleticism. That's what they really look at first. They want, because of defense. Defense is what they look for first, usually. And that's why they like athleticism. And Brunson, I would say prior to this season, in my opinion, was a little overrated. I don't know prior to this season.
Okay.
But now he's going to be overrated only because the media is going to hype him up. But he deserves to be considered one of the better players in the league for sure. Yeah, so I agree. But he was one that I was going to put in there as somebody who would have been overrated.
Correct.
Prior to the season.
Correct. Oh, you mean underrated?
Overrated.
Oh, so you think he's overrated now?
Overrated prior to this season, but then he showed up.
And now you think he's earned. Now you think he's earned it, but
he's earned to be, no longer overrated. But now that the New York media has got a hold of him now because they won a championship, he's going to be overrated again, dude.
Interesting. I have a little bit of I think when he was in Dallas, he was severely underrated.
Yes, I agree with you.
And then in New York, man, it's just so hard with New York because they blow up everybody.
Dude,
they just blow up everybody.
So now since we're talking about the Knicks, even though they haven't come up on a pick yet. So who did we pick as the best player in franchise history of the Knicks? Do you remember?
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Was it Ewing?
Nope.
Okay, hold on. Let me think.
Yeah. It's very. It's obvious only because it was
Clyde
the
Frazier?
last. Yes.
Yes.
Clyde,
all right.
Clyde Frazier.
Clyde Frazier, yes.
He was considered the best of all time because that was the last time they won a championship, bro.
Yep.
Right?
And I
do
think that, I think it's.
Do you think Jalen Brunson supplants him now?
Well, the problem is I never watched Frazier play, so I don't have a full appreciation for what he could do. I'd like to sit down with an old New York Knicks fan and kind of do that. But yes, I would say that now people will argue that Brunson is overcome Frazier. I think that's going to be a topic of conversation.
Okay. All right. So you can still think about that underrated. I'm gonna ask you about I've been thinking. I'm asking about underrated later. But let me get, since the Hornets are on the pick for number 18. AI has Kareem Lopez being picked here.
Yep. Now
everybody that's above, he's the best available player because all the players above him have already been selected. So there's nobody that has slipped to this point. So right now, Kareem Lopez is the best available pick according to AI. Now,
and what are their names? What did they pick in the 14th pick? I'm trying to remind myself now. I'm just trying.
It's on the ticker, man. It should be.
They took Hans Steinbeck. Yep, they took it. Okay, so they don't want a big. So Chris Senick is out of the conversation. So everyone here you had was a center. Yeah,
everybody was a center.
Kareem Lopez is good. What's the other guy? Cameron Carr, I think, would be a good.
Oh, that's right. Cameron Carr has not been taken yet.
Cameron Carr has not been. Yeah, he has not been selected. So I think he would be a good choice.
So it's out of Cameron Carr and Kareem Lopez. Yes,
I think so. Yeah, they're not taking another. I'd be surprised if they took another center.
So you think Kareem Lopez or
Kareem Lopez or Cameron Carr is what I'm going.
Okay.
ESPN here has as a best fit Christian Anderson Jr., a 6.3 guard from TTU.
Interesting.
That's what ESPN is kind of calling out right here. I just have it right in front of me, so I'm looking at it. But I'm going to go with Cameron Carr or Kareem Lopez.
I'm going to say Kareem Lopez because
here we go.
So here's is it pick in?
It's coming in right now.
Okay, so right now they have LaMelo Ball.
My goodness! They went with ESPN's pick, Christian Anderson. Really? Yeah, they went with Christian Anderson. Yes.
Wow. All right, dude. Christian Anderson is number 28 on AI. Just so you know.
Yep. I don't know. This might have been a little bit of a stretch, but what does this do for LaMelo? Does this mean anything for LaMelo? You know, LaMelo obviously plays point guard.
Yeah.
We'll see what this means for LaMelo.
LaMelo always gets hurt, so this could be just insurance. You know, now that they moved off the big baller brand shoes, you know, maybe that he's not going to get hurt as much. So
you're funny. You're funny.
You know, but Hans Christian Anderson, dude, he's no longer writing books but playing ball, dude. So
that's it.
Christian Anderson. I don't know much about this guy. So I'm gonna see if I can find anything about.
I'm looking as well.
I'm seeing if there's anything that is talking about. Yeah. So this is his player comp is Dennis Schroeder.
Okay, I got 3 comps here that AI is coming up with. One is Darius Garland.
Okay.
One is Mike Conley, which that's a home run if you ask me.
Yeah, you like him.
And then the other one was Dennis Schroeder. So those are the comps right now. 6'1", barefoot, 180 pounds, 6'6" wingspan. He's averaging 18.5 points per game, 7.4 assists, 41% from 3-point.
It's pretty good
for
college, man.
Yeah, and he shot a lot. So he's a good shooter. I mean, overall, it looks like a pretty decent pick. I think maybe they stretched a little here, or they reached a little, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. But
dude, 41% from 3-point is legit.
It is.
So the little interesting tidbit: when Klay Thompson got drafted out of Washington State, his shooting percentage was below 40% from 3, even in college, which is a shorter distance than pro. And it didn't initially translate because Klay Thompson became one of the best 3-point shooters we have ever seen in this game.
Correct.
So,
yes.
So just because
second best, I would argue. You could argue second best.
Yeah, you could argue second best. Although Reggie Miller would have something to say, and same with
and
Ray Allen, right?
Correct.
So,
correct.
So
Yeah.
All
That's
right,
not
man.
that's not set in stone, but it is a conversation.
Right.
Yeah, and one thing I like to see from those numbers too is how far behind the 3-point line do they shoot? Because a lot of these college players usually shoot a foot and a half behind the 3-point line. You know, kind of mentally preparing for that NBA line.
Yep.
So it'd be interesting to if I can watch some video on this guy. All right, now
we
we
got Toronto Raptors on the clock, number 19.
Correct. All right, so let me go over this. This was mine. So they've got the 19th pick. The people that I put here, and so just as a reminder, some roster needs: rim protection, consistent 3-point shooting. They need some bench depth. I think some of this they can fill here. So at the 19th pick, I had Bennett Sturts, who's gone.
Yep.
I had LeBaron Fillon, Jr., guard out of Alabama. I think he might be a good fit here. And I had Zuby Ejiofor, power forward center from St. John's, small center. He's 6'8", so he's not a large center, probably more of a power forward, small forward. I don't know if I have to look at his comparables and his kind of some of his background, but I don't know if he's a particularly good shooter or not. But that's who I have here. LeBaron Fillon is a guy that, you know, when I was looking at all the draft boards, and look, he was somebody whose name was potentially rising. I don't know if they need necessarily a smaller guard on Toronto. They do have a lot of length and a lot of players that are 3-and-D type guys. Yep. They do need some shooting, so I would assume that they're going to go with the best shooting player here is what because I don't think they're going to get a rim protector. Although Senek is still available. So Senek might be a player that they pick up as a rim protector, but again, I have to do a little bit of research here. It's hard to get all of the information.
Yep. And according to AI, the 19th best player is Jaden Quaintance, but that's taken into consideration that Cameron Carr and Kareem Lopez have already been picked, which they have not. So the best available right now is Cameron Carr, followed by Kareem Lopez, followed by Jaden Quaintance at center at Kentucky. So those are the three best according to AI.
Okay.
So while we're waiting for the pick, who did we pick as the best player in Toronto franchise history?
Well, it wasn't Kawhi because I would have picked him as. It might have been Kawhi.
Nope.
Let me think. Okay, it wasn't Kawhi. So I was wondering where we kind of put him.
We were in between two players, and it wasn't Kawhi.
Was Tracy McGrady one of them?
Yes, that's who it was.
Okay.
It was Tracy McGrady.
Okay.
It was between him and DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Yeah, those, and then Kyle Lowry was another one just because, you know, he's Mr. Raptor. He's been around. He was on that team for a long time.
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, but it's actually Tracy McGrady. Now, do you see anybody on the Toronto Raptors squad in recent history that would supplant Tracy McGrady as the best player in franchise history?
This one I'm going to have to look up there. Give me 1 second.
Here's their team, man. They have Emmanuel Quickley, Brandon Ingram, which we said is an overrated player right now in today's NBA.
Yep.
RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. Then they have Jacoby Walter as a backup, Jamal Shed. They have Colin Murray Boyles, Jamison Battle, Sandro Mamushkelashvili. I think I said that right. That's not bad.
Yeah, that sounded pretty damn good. Yeah.
Jonathan Mogbo, and then Grady. Don't call me Harry. Anyway,
I love that guy. Don't call me Harry. Hold on, we got a pick coming in.
All right, man. So this is number 19.
They picked Alan Graves.
Oh, interesting. Alan Graves.
Yes, power forward from Santa Clara. We had made some comments about Santa Clara and how they're coming up in the draft. There've been some players coming out, and Alan Graves joined.
It all started with Jalen Williams, man.
Correct. It did start with Jalen Williams. Well, it started with Steve Nash, and then there was a breakdown of about 20 years. It picked up again.
But dude, I mean, Steve Nash put Santa Clara on the map for basketball because they're like, I mean, he'll never Santa Clara. I mean, he's going to be the best player in Santa Clara basketball history, period.
Yep.
I don't think anybody will ever beat Steve Nash.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. Especially now with the portal and everything. It's going to be really hard. A lot of them only last 1 year. And if you last longer than 1 year, you're upset with the team because they didn't highlight you. And now you're going to the portal and going somewhere else. So I agree.
Exactly.
Given all of the
The dynamics.
The options that you have in college basketball, I don't think anyone will surpass Steve Nash.
Yep.
So to get back to your question, I think the closest player might be Scotty Barnes, but no, he's not.
He's not going to be.
He's not going to be it. No, but
Yes.
on this particular squad, I would say Scotty Barnes. But no.
Yeah, but how about like recent history? You have DeMar DeRozan, you have Kawhi Leonard, Kyle Lowry. I mean, those are the
three. Well, I would say Kawhi, but Kawhi's more of a Spur.
OG Anunoby? No.
Yeah, no. I mean, he hardly played.
He's not better than Tracy McGrady, man. Tracy
no,
McGrady's a Hall of Famer.
Kawhi would be better if he was there longer.
Yes.
But no.
He was there for a rental, dude. He's more of a Spur, really, than anything else.
Yeah, he's a Spur. He's absolutely a Spur.
So let me ask you something. Do you think Kawhi Leonard gets moved this offseason?
Yeah.
You think he's gone? You think he's gone from the Clippers?
I think so.
Do you think the Warriors are going to try and make a play for him?
I hope not.
Do you think they might?
I mean, if they're willing to take Draymond or Butler for it.
Okay, so here's the next question. If you were the Warriors and you had Kawhi Leonard and Jaylen Brown available, who would you take for the team?
Well, I'd take Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is that secondary ace scorer. I think mentally
so is Kawhi Leonard, though, man.
Yeah, but Kawhi's always injured and old. And we have to build for the future. Jaylen Brown will never be as good as Steph, but he can take Steph's role in this current lineup. And Steph can kind of take a step back and be more of option B. Not that he ever would be, but I think I would go with Jaylen Brown. I just don't. Kawhi's hurt all the time. He's very distant. He's older. He's the better player. Like
he is the better player.
Yeah. If I had to pick one game where everyone was healthy, I'm taking Kawhi over Jaylen Brown.
Absolutely.
Don't make that mistake. But for the Warriors, where they're at, he went to Berkeley as well. He's familiar with the area. I take Jaylen Brown. Right now, I would.
All right.
But I don't think we have anything the Celtics would want.
What about freaking Brandon Bajemski, man?
Nah, dude, they're not. No way. No freaking way, dude. Dude, I'd gift wrap pods. Go ahead, take them.
You take them to the airport, dude.
Exactly, dude. I'd be like, let's go, bro. Get in the car. Let's roll.
All right. All right. So, dude, we got the Spurs on the clock right now, man. So, the Spurs, we had this. So we've already done their pre-draft coverage, so we won't do the preview since we already did it. But this was my team that I covered. As far as roster needs, I put a dirty work power forward and a backup point guard. Okay. Now I thought Draymond Green would be a great pick. So free agents to target.
Would agree.
I put Jock Lawndale. I put Kobe White, Anthony Simons, and Draymond Green. Yes. These are guys that are both dirty work power forwards as well. You know, the other guys that I mentioned, Kobe White, Anthony Simons, are backup point guards. You know, this team is not far. They proved it. They proved it this year. They just got overworked by a more veteran team, and they just to get to the point of getting to a championship. I mean, you have to go through a process to get there, and the Spurs went through the process of going from a play-in team to becoming in the finals in 1 year. They did that all in 1 year. So I think next year, this year, this was the process for them to figure out what they need to do. The coaching is still young. They made mistakes throughout the process. They figured out that De'Aaron Fox isn't their point guard for the future. Dylan Harper is, and I think they figured this out in this playoff series. So, but as far as the 20th pick, I have them picking. It was either between Jaden Quaintance or Terrace Reed, your boy out of UConn.
Yeah, so, I like Terrace Reed, but I was just looking up Quintance's profile. He's comparable to Jalen Duren, Robert Williams, more of a defensive kind of shot blocker. I think they might if they're going to go with those two options, I think they might go more with Jaden. Although I like Terrace Reed quite a bit.
Yeah, but what about Kareem Lopez?
Do they need another wing?
I mean, he's a small forward,
Yeah, I mean, they've got Dylan Harper, they've got Champagny, they've got
Champagny's a small forward. But as far as
they've got Stephon Castle.
Yeah, but this guy, he's at 6'8", 6'9". This guy, man.
How tall is Vassell?
Devin Vassal's not that tall, dude. I think he's like 6'7" at most. I'm not sure though, but I think that's where he's at.
I think Kareem Lopez is not a bad call.
Yeah,
I was going by the two choices you had here, but I think Kareem Lopez. Let me see.
Yeah, I think Kareem Lopez might be the pick.
All right, let's see. Yeah, ESPN has here Kareem Lopez or LeBaron Fallon.
So
it's a good call. Could be Kareem.
Yeah, and according to AI, Cameron Carr is the best available, followed by Kareem Lopez and then Jaden Quaintance. LeBaron Fallon, according to AI, is 23rd.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I how would I put this? For some reason, Jaden Quaintance is standing out to me.
Okay, I'm gonna say Kareem Lopez. So, but as far as their roster, so they have De'Aaron Fox, currently as their starting point guard. They have Stephon Castle as their combo shooting guard / point guard at times. Devin Vassell is their small forward. They have Julian Champagnie as their power forward, and then Victor All-World Wembanyama as their center. Dylan Harper is their backup point guard, as well as their backup shooting guard. Carter Bryant, who's actually a pretty good little defensive player. He's good. He's going to be pretty good for them as far as a defensive specialist. They have him as small forward. And the reigning sixth man of the year, Keldon Johnson, is their backup power forward, and then Luke Cornett is their backup center. So they definitely need some help at the size behind Victor Wembanyama. But as far as in my opinion, I think Kareem Lopez makes sense because you have Devin Vassell and you have Carter Bryant. That's why I think they should.
All right, Eddie. Well, the pick is in, and they
good pick, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, you're like the whisperer today, man.
I could, for whatever reason, I'm in sync. That means tomorrow I'll get everything wrong. but yeah, I had a feeling they need someone who can unburden Wemby on some of the physical blocking and play. Wemby's not there yet physically, and I think this kid might be able to help there.
Yeah, it's a good call, man.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. So we got next on the docket are the Detroit Pistons. So
disappointing season for the Pistons, in my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you have that they're at the 21st pick, and according to AI, it would be Isaiah Evans from Duke, shooting guard.
I had him as one of the players that I had targeted here for the Pistons were Bennett Sturts, who's gone, Christian Anderson, who's gone, and then Isaiah Evans was the guard forward, 6'6" out of Duke, perimeter scorer, good shooter. I think he would fill some of that role in terms, just as a reminder for roster needs. They really need a Robin for Cade's Batman. When Cade doesn't play, that whole offense just shuts down.
Big time.
They need someone that
very,
can
very prominent
shots.
in the playoffs. That was so prominent, man. It was on display big time that they needed a secondary scorer, man. Big time.
Correct. Isaiah Evans, I have him here as a perimeter scorer. So, he's all external, which may or may not help. Kareem Lopez might also be a guy. I mean, he's a little bit more attack the basket type of player. I would assume he's he's not a great shooter. So I would assume he's not as good a shooter as Isaiah Evans. So maybe Kareem Lopez is something that could fill here, but I'd probably go the safe route with Isaiah Evans.
Yeah, Kareem Lopez is actually being compared to, according to this guy, Tristan Da Silva. So he's kind of one of the more underrated, unheralded players in this draft, and he essentially does a lot of things, a lot of things well. He doesn't have like a go-to thing. He's just like the jack of all trades kind of guy that does everything pretty well.
Gotcha. And then some comps for Isaiah Evans, Jordan Hawkins, Isaiah Joe, a smaller Brandon Ingram.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that's who they got as comparables.
All right. So let's see. We have now the Pistons. So you have Isaiah Evans. All right. So who did we pick? Who did we pick as the best player in Detroit Pistons franchise history?
I'm going to lean towards Isaiah Thomas.
That's exactly who we picked. Isaiah Thomas. He's the best. Now, do you see anybody? Do you see Cade Cunningham potentially supplanting him?
That's going to be hard because Isaiah won 3 finals?
3. Yep.
And were they back to back to back?
I don't think so. I don't remember though.
Okay.
I don't remember
because then you look at those Piston teams in the middle with Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton.
Yep.
And those guys, and nobody there really.
Chauncey Billups,
but nobody there really. Chauncey Billups, who's in a whole world of trouble.
Yep.
Mr. Gambler, but no one there really surpassed Isaiah Thomas. I don't know if Cade can win 2 to 3 championships. If he does, maybe, but right now, no. I'm gonna say no. There's no one there. I can't see Cade doing it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go no.
Okay. So you predict Isaiah Evans here?
Yeah, I'm gonna predict Isaiah. I think that's the safer pick. I think if they want to take a risk, they'll go with Kareem Lopez or
Cameron
Carr. Still there, right? Cameron Carr is still there.
Cameron Carr is still there
as well. So I'll say Isaiah Evans or Cameron Carr, but I'll stick with Isaiah Evans.
Okay, I'll say Cameron Carr.
Okay.
That's my call. Yep, that's my call. All right, man. So as you've been thinking about it, are there any overrated players that you can think of that have already, that we haven't already talked about in the NBA today?
Overrated.
Yeah. Overrated. We talked. You brought up 2 great ones in Anthony Davis and Trae Young right from the jump. That was awesome. And before this year, I brought up.
Here's a little bit of a controversial one, just because I'm not a big fan of his game style. I think Austin Reeves might be a little overrated.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I think he's a little underrated.
Really? No, I think he might be a little
underrated category.
I hear a lot of talk about him, and I'm going to go with
in LA,
overrated. Yeah, but again,
he's in LA.
But again, that's how you get overrated, right? You're in a market that
promotes you.
My opinion would be that most of the people that we declare overrated are in large media markets. You're not really going to hear of someone that's overrated on like the Spurs or or Oklahoma City or Milwaukee, or you're not. But where you're going to hear it is in Miami's, in New York,
Miami,
in LA.
And
so and again, I want to articulate. I think Reeves is a hell of a player. I'm not a fan of his style. It's a little goofy to me. He's a little kind of a goofy player.
Yep.
But I hear a lot about him, and I think he's a scotch overrated.
Okay.
I would go with him.
Okay. So now, maybe we've already kind of beat that one down a little bit. So what about underrated? Who would you say is underrated? That hasn't gotten the recognition, but is a really good player that maybe because he's in a small market doesn't get the fanfare, right? It's like somebody maybe like a Scotty Barnes. Would you say he's underrated?
Yeah, I'd say he's a little underrated. Hold on, we got a pick coming up.
This is your Pistons, right? So you're saying Isaiah Evans.
Isaiah Evans is what I was saying.
Yep.
Kareem Lopez. They went with Kareem Lopez.
Did they really?
We talked about him. Yes. Yeah, we talked about it as a possibility. So let me share the slide here. Kareem Lopez from the Breakers.
Wow.
I think this is a good risky pick.
Yeah.
Because he's got some upside. He could potentially be Robin. I mean, I don't think the other 2 guys we talked about were really going to be Robin. He could be a Robin, or he could be out of the league in 2.5 seasons. I look at him sort of like not the result, but the same anticipation as Jonathan Kuminga. I'm kind of looking at him sort of that way.
Okay.
We'll see what he becomes. I don't mind this pick. Kareem Lopez was viewed as a potential lottery pick. We're out of the lottery round.
Yep.
Detroit is a strong team. I think they can take a little bit of a shot here. I'm okay.
Why not, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I mean, the Detroit Pistons can bolster up their team with free agents, right? Yep. So they can go after, you name some guys there, but there's other guys out there they can go after too.
Yep. Let me see here. Let me just see if I can bring up some information on Mr. Kareem Lopez. So Kareem Lopez has had some comps to Franz Wagner and Aaron Gordon. You know, he's a 6'8" and a quarter, 6'11" wingspan. He can handle the ball. He can run pick and rolls. He can defend multiple positions. You know, he relies on his physical abilities for the versatility that he has.
Yep.
I still think he's developing his shot. He's pretty good shooter, but not an elite shooter or not a, you know, consistent shooter.
Right.
But I think this is, if you're going to try to get a Robin, which is what I called out in my profile, I think this is the best shot that you can take. This may be a guy that we talk about in a couple of years and go, I can't believe he slipped to the 21st pick.
Yeah, you never know, man.
This is a very deep draft. No, you never know.
Another Latino in the league, man.
Yes. We've got
there's not many Latinos in the NBA, man.
We've got
not many.
And he's I believe he's of Mexican descent. So yes. As his jersey would state there. So congratulations to Mexico. We got another player who to join Edward Nájera.
Eduardo Nájera.
Nájera.
Yeah, Nájera. And then I think that's the only other Mexican pure, because there's been Puerto Ricans in the NBA. Yes. There's been, you know, but remember JJ Barea, he was Puerto Rican. Yep. Dominicans, that's the Carl Anthony Towns. He's Dominican. There's another one.
Isn't Horford Dominican?
Yes, Horford's Dominican.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we have Brazilians in the league. They're Latinos too, man. So
correct. Yep. And then depending on how you want to, you also depends on if you want to consider Spaniards Latinos. So there's an argument there, and I'm not going to get into that argument. But But you could go with the Gasol brothers, right?
Yep.
You know, Mara, who just got drafted. He's from Spain. So
he's another Spaniard.
Yeah, we got no Peruvians or Costa Ricans yet that I know of. So we'll see when that comes out.
And there's no way an El Salvadorian is ever going to make it. I mean, they're just you're not built for it. We're not built for it, bro.
See, Eddie, could have been you. Could have been you, right. Eddie. You blew that window. Come on, buddy. All right, let me.
All right, so we got here, now on the clock.
Philadelphia
76ers. We're at the 22nd pick right now, man. So
correct.
AI has Bennett Sturtz, who's already been taken. So we still have Cameron Carr and we have Isaiah Evans. Those are the two best available right now.
Correct. And then I had Koa Pete as well. I had him as a possibility. Just as a reminder, roster needs. They need front court depth. Koa Pete 6'7", that would provide some depth. Isaiah Evans is a small forward. Not exactly front court, but there's also Chris Senick is still around.
Yep.
So he's a possibility. And as you mentioned, Cameron Carr. But I believe he's 6'4", right? Is Cameron Carr 6'4", 6'5", something like that? I believe he is. So, and then LeBaron Fallon, who was, again, talked about.
6'5".
So he might be going higher in the draft. He's still available as well. So if I had to look at this, I'm probably going to go Isaiah Evans from Duke. That's who I feel that the Sixers may take here. Although,
hey, know what are
they going to do with Paul George?
William pointed out that we missed Jaime Jaquez. Totally forgot.
Oh yes, Jaime. Thank you, William.
My brother-in-law would be just throwing stuff at me right now because he's a UCLA Bruin, and that's the first guy he'd call out. It'd be Jaime Jaquez, man.
So William, we didn't forget about Jaime Jaquez. We're just pissing Mike off. That's really
we're just pissing Mike off because he's a Bruin, and Bruins are the best at everything.
Ed and I were texting each other in the background.
JJ, who's a friend of the show, is exactly the same, man. You gotta, dude, if you get Mike and JJ in a room, and they'll be talking about the UCLA Bruin, for hours.
Funny. All right, so I'm going back to underrated. Man, I'm really thinking hard here, Eddie.
So the most underrated players that we had, John Stockton was one of them. John Stockton, Mitch Richmond. Mitch Richmond was another one that we picked.
Yes.
We picked Bernard King.
Yes.
You remember? So these are guys that really, I think that we also picked David Robinson, although you really can't say, but he's kind of an under small market guy, but he actually, he's a really good player. But he could have got a lot more fanfare if he was at a different place.
Yes. Where are we? I have a player. he gets some pub.
Yep.
But I think not enough, and that is Abdia.
Yeah, that's a good
Denny
call. Denny Abdia is
from Portland.
Underrated.
Yeah, I think he's underrated. I think he's a decent player. All right, here we go. The Sixers pick is in.
What about Bam Adebayo?
Up until he scored that
83
points, yeah, I would say he was, but you know, I really like, not overrated, but I think he's gotten some attention.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say he's overrated. I think he's probably right about where he should be.
What about Joel Embiid? What about Joel Embiid?
I would say that he's more underrated now, but it's also a little deserved. He just doesn't show up.
What about Paul George?
We got the pick in, LeBaron Tolan.
What about Paul George?
Out of Alabama. That's it. No, I don't think Paul George's ever been. I mean, when he was in Indiana, he was a little underrated. Ever since he left Indiana, he's been overrated, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see them.
You know who? You know, I mean, he's Halliburton. I think
Halliburton. I was about to say him.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, I would say Halliburton might be a little underrated. I mean, obviously he drew a lot of attention in the finals last year, and then when he was out, we saw how quickly the team fell apart. So based on that, I think he should get his flowers as to what a key piece he is.
Yep. I'll tell you a guy that's
Trey Murphy.
Yeah, he's underrated.
Yeah, I think he's a little underrated.
What about Zion Williamson as overrated?
Yeah, I think Zion's overrated.
Okay.
But here's the problem with him. I think that if he would just play, he wouldn't be overrated. I think he's a phenomenal freak of nature. Yeah, he's just a phenomenal, but he can't. His athletic ability is too hard on his body.
Where let me ask, where would you put Cooper Flag? In the overrated or underrated category?
I'd put him slightly overrated, but just slightly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would put him in the underrated.
Yeah, I'd put him a little just because of all the pub that he got.
Well, dude, I mean, that guy was playing, on the USA Select team, and he was balling against those guys, dude. So of course they're gonna like, holy, who's this kid? He was like only 17 at the time, and he was balling against freaking.
No. I agree.
Guys.
I agree, but all of that got him hyped up, and he got a lot of pub.
Yeah.
And right now, given that Dallas didn't make the playoffs, and I'm not saying it's his fault, but I'm saying for someone who gets that much pub, you can't even get into the play-in. Like, let's look at that. And so that's where I would consider a little bit of over.
Okay.
Just slightly. Okay. I'm not, but I think he can live up to the hype. I think he has the potential.
All right. So real quick, the Atlanta Hawks are on the clock right now.
Yes,
and
they
this
are.
is my team. I've already done the pre-draft preview in this show. I did it earlier because they had an earlier pick. They had the 8th
Correct.
pick. So I went ahead and covered that. But now at the 23rd pick, I had two guys here, Alan Graves, who's already gone, and then Henry Visar out of North Carolina. That was
Correct.
the guy that I thought, those are the two guys I thought would be picked here. Now, according to AI, the player that we picked here would be LeBaron Fallon, but he just got taken.
He just went, yep.
So we still have Cameron Carr and Isaiah Evans as best available according to the AI list.
Correct. And as a reminder, Atlanta took Kingston Flemings with the 8th pick. They took a guard, which I'm reminding everyone because I'm thinking maybe they try to go bigger, someone like Chris Senick. Maybe they try to, I don't know, what they're thinking, but I'm just letting everyone know or reminding everyone that Kingston Fleming was the 8th pick.
Yep. Okay. All right. And what is does ESPN show who the best available player is?
ESPN has the two players. The best available they have is Chris Senick, and the best fit they have is Cameron Carr.
Okay. So Cameron Carr on the AI was 17. Chris Senick is number 26.
So Cameron Carr would be a steal in this position.
Yes, in this instance.
Yes. And they got him as the best fit. He's a 6'5" player.
Okay.
Out of Baylor, 6'5", 175. Maybe that's what we're looking at. Carr.
All right. All right. So we already went through underrated, overrated. So
yes.
So let me ask you something. I'm gonna call out some names, and you're going to tell me if they're first ballot Hall of Famers or not.
Okay.
Okay. Luka Doncic. First ballot Hall of Famer or not?
I'm thinking. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Derek White.
No.
Okay. Jalen Brunson.
Yes. God, yes. Just because this is
only because of this year,
it's a media
bro.
thing. It's a media thing, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
all right.
Yes.
Damian Lillard.
Yes.
I agree. James Harden.
Yeah. Yes.
He is.
I mean, James Harden is probably top 5 greatest regular season player of all time.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And according to our player greatness index, he was slightly higher than Stephen Curry. Only because of.
But I will put in big bold type regular season.
Yes. But he slightly edged out Steph Curry only because his stats are higher. He has more assists, more points, more, less. I think he has about the same amount of turnovers, but it's just his scoring and his assists were overwhelming, according to, if you compare him against Curry. Now Curry's accolades are overwhelming against James Harden. But
correct.
Anyway. All right. What about Jason Tatum, first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes, I'm just that one. I don't feel like it should be, but he's in Boston. Is the Celtics? Yes.
Okay. What about Drew Holiday?
He won't be, but he should be.
Okay. What about Jaylen Brown?
First ballot.
Yes.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
But I reserve the judgment as to how he does wherever he's traded.
From here on out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he could be, but not right now.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. Shoot. Yes. I mean, he's won championships in multiple organizations. He's won multiple championships.
Yes.
His injury history is going to hurt him, but yes, I think he'll be a first ballot.
Okay. Devin Booker.
This one's hard. He's hard.
Your silence is freaking so loud, dude.
Yeah, it's hard with him. Oh, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. What about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. What about Jimmy Butler?
He gets too much.
Jimmy Butler.
I'm gonna say no.
No?
Not a first ballot. No.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
If he wins the championship, then yes, right? Is that what?
Missing the championship. It's not only winning the championship; it's the way he's left organizations.
Okay.
The things that he's done. I'm looking at.
Yeah.
A lot of this. I mean, I don't. You'd have to. You. If I'm being honest, I don't know all of the qualification or who votes for all of this.
Yes.
But if there's organizations, there's players. He's pissed off Wiggins. He's pissed off Cat. He's pissed off the Heat. He's pissed off the Bulls. He's pissed off the Timberwolves. I mean, he's got a lot of people, sort of a little miniature Barry Bonds action going on around here. So that's why I would say no. He wouldn't. Yeah. Not first ballot. I think he'll get in. I just don't think he'll be first ballot.
Nikola Jokic.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be a travesty if he's not.
Draymond Green.
So what's funny is I think one of the three won't. Steph will. Absolutely.
Steph will, absolutely.
So between Clay and Draymond, I think one of them won't necessarily be a first ballot.
What about Andre Iguodala?
I think he will be, but I don't think he should be.
Interesting. You don't think, but he'll eventually get there, but maybe not first ballot.
Well, I think he will get first ballot, but I don't think he should be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
back to your Draymond Green question, I think yes. And again, I don't know if he should, but yes, he will on his defensive prowess. I mean, he's arguably top 5 best defensive player of all time. So on that alone, he'll get in, which he should.
Kyrie Irving. Silence is deafening, dude.
No, him is a different type of silence. I think he won't, but he should.
You don't think he will? Interesting.
He's another one. His polarizing points of view, not wanting to get the vaccination.
Yeah.
You know,
the
not
world
like
is flat.
yeah. Like I think these things are going to hurt him, but as a player, I think he absolutely should.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
So that was
fun.
A little game there, bro.
Yeah. Oh. All right. We had another pick. The Atlanta Hawks made a pick.
Okay.
And can you guess, Eddie, 23rd. Without looking? Yeah. Who you thinking it was? I'll show you in 1 second.
Carr.
No, it was a guy that we had brought up many times in the second round, which is Zuby Ejiofor, center out of St. John's.
Wow.
So I was right in the right in the sense that I thought they'd go big because they went with a guard with the 8th pick. I just picked the wrong big. I thought maybe it would be Senik, but they went with Zuby.
All right, man. So now we got.
Speaking of New York,
we have 6 more picks.
Look who we got! Look who we got! The world champion New York Knickerbockers.
Exactly. That's who's up on the clock right now, man. So
yes, it is.
It's your team, man. So you pick up
my team. Yes. So the $1 million question here for me, and I feel pretty good about this, is are they going to re-sign Mitchell Robinson? How do they feel about Robinson? And I think that if they pick up Terrace Reed Jr. from UConn, and we know how much the Knicks love their UConn players, we know this. If they don't feel comfortable, they're going to draft Reed here.
Okay.
If they draft Reed, I think they're not going to keep Mitchell Robinson.
Okay.
That's because they're very similar type players, or similar. I wouldn't say they're similar players, but they fill similar roles.
Okay.
So that's who I'm going with. So and if they feel good about it, they may go with someone like Koa Pete or Carr. Cameron Carr.
Okay. And you said again, who was the guy? Terrace Reed?
Terrace Reed. That's what I think that I think that they feel that they're not going to re-sign Mitchell Robinson because I think Mitchell Robinson is going to be too expensive. So I think they're going to take Terrace Reed. That's what I think is going to happen here.
Okay.
So I'm predicting 2 things. 1, they're not re-signing Mitchell Robinson. 2, they're going to take Terrace Reed.
Okay. So we have the best available according to AI.
Yes.
Koa Pete is the selection at 24. Isaiah Evans and Cameron Carr are the 2 best available according to AI's list.
Yep.
So you're saying, and by the way, Terrace Reed is not on the top 30.
Yeah, no, I don't, but I think he fills a need here. And you're in the late round and you're a championship player and you need to save money. So here comes, the pick is coming up.
Okay.
Let's see if my stretching of my thought. Oh, they went with Cameron Carr.
Yeah, I got one, bro.
Woo! You got one. All right, Ed. Good call.
Hey, get him suggesting that we use the side-by-side rather than putting us small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Let me see what I can do here. There we go.
Yeah.
But then we get half of the name kind of thrown off there, but.
Oh, that's right. That's why you're doing it.
Yeah, that's why then. Let me see if this one fits a little better.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Here we go.
Yeah. So the other request from Mr. Guillermo, our in-house Panamanian, is to go ahead and show it and then take it off as soon as we show it.
All right. Show it and off.
So that we continue being the stars of the show, baby.
I'm not used to being a star.
I know, bro. All right, man. So now,
so they went with Cameron Carr. Did we talk about Cameron Carr at all in terms of his comparisons and all that?
No, we have not. So I'm going to see so we have player comp is Jalen Tyson and Devin Vassell. 6'5.5", 184 pounds. 7 foot wingspan, 7 3/4. So that's interesting for a guard, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I have a couple of other comps that I found. Trey Murphy and Mikal Bridges. I think Mikal Bridges is quite funny that they.
They took another Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges. I think that's funny that he's a comparison. Because but if he is, he's a lot more expensive than Cameron Carr is going to be.
Yep.
So we'll see how that plays out. But
so we have 6 more players left to be drafted in the first round, and dude, this is
gone. 6 more players.
This is gone over almost 3 hours, man.
Yeah, this has gone a long time. All right, Eddie, it's my turn, and I actually have a preview that we haven't covered.
Of the Lakers.
Coming up is your Los Angeles Lakers, not UCLA Bruins, Mike, the Lakers. So take it easy. Going over some metrics here. We've got the offensive rating for the Lakers this year, 117 points a game, good for 10th. Defensive rating, gave up 115.5 points per game, good for 20th. Net rating, positive 1.5, good for 14th. Their starting scoring, 87.1 points per game, which is good for 2nd in the league. And their bench scoring, 29.3, which was bad enough to be 29th in the league. So they were 2nd best and 2nd worst on each opposite ends of the spectrum.
Interesting.
Roster needs, they need a center. They need a center bad. And they need 2-way wings. Where are they on the cap? They're a negative $95.4 million, good for 24th. Draft day trade, I had them as unlikely. Not highly unlikely, but unlikely. Who's gone? So there's been a lot of talk. I'm going to take a stab here. I think LeBron James is gone. I don't think he rejoins. I think Rui Hachimura is gone. And I think DeAndre Ayton is gone. DeAndre Ayton is gone because the Lakers aren't going to want to pay him. Rui Hachimura, I think he's getting a little expensive. And LeBron, we'll see what he does. I'm feeling he might go back to Cleveland, but we'll see. I acknowledge I could be wrong here. To me, it's a 50-50 that he goes or he stays. But I'm going to call it that he's likely gone. They have the 25th pick here. So who are their choices? I went pretty much all centers or all bigs because I think that's what they need.
Yes,
so we had Henry Vassar from North Carolina, who we've talked about, 7-footer. Jaden Quintance, who's gone. He's already been picked up. Then we have Terrace Reed Jr., 6'11" out of UConn. And then Chris Senick, power forward out of Houston, 6'11". So I feel pretty good that it's going to be one of those 3 people. ESPN has the best fit here for the Lakers as the best available is Chris Senick, and they actually have Isaiah Evans, who I also talked about, kind of 2-way wings out of Duke, as the best fit for the Lakers here. And Eddie, I don't know if you want to look at what AI has to say in regards to who's the best available, who AI thinks that they're going to pick up.
AI says right now that the best available is Isaiah Evans, who was slated to be the 21st pick. And then the 24th pick was Koa Pete, according to AI. We're now at number 25, and they actually had AI projected Zuby Ejoyafor out of St. John's, but he's already been taken. So
gotcha.
So it would be Isaiah Evans, Koa Pete, and then followed by Chris Senick was after Zuby Ejoyafor. So all right, bro. So our little game. Who do we pick as the best player in franchise history out of the Lakers when we did our quest for best overall one-on-one
who did we pick?
Who do we pick out of the Lakers?
Well, for me, it was easy. It's Kareem. For me, it's easy.
But it wasn't Kareem who we settled on. It wasn't Kareem, though. That's not who we selected.
It had to be Magic. It
wasn't Magic. It wasn't Magic.
Holy crap. Who did we? All right. Sorry. I'm sorry. I can hear the millions of Laker fans yelling in my ear right now. Jelly Bean's son.
Yes.
Jelly Bean's son is who we picked. Yes.
Exactly. Kobe.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Baby.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
As the best player.
Yeah. No, and that's who we should have picked. Forgive me. Sometimes my brain goes older than it should. But yes, that's who we should have picked. Kobe deserves that. He won 5 titles. I could argue that outside of Shaq, he never had really a super team like Magic and Kareem had. I mean, they had a lot of good players. James Worthy, Kareem, Byron Scott. I mean, Byron Scott was an elite, but they had Wilkes. They had a lot of early on. They had Norm Nixon, so they had a lot of pretty good players.
Their whole history is littered with Hall of Fame players, man.
No, I agree, but I would say that Kobe had a lesser team than those players. He had Shaq, which was arguably. I mean, Kareem is better than Shaq in my opinion.
Yes.
But Kobe's better than Magic. Yeah.
Yes.
But to me, that's really it. I mean, he had Pau Gasol. Is Pau Gasol even a Hall of Famer?
Yes. He is. Yes.
Okay. So Pau Gasol. But outside of that, I mean, who are we talking about? Robert Horry, Metta World Peace.
That were on the Lakers.
Who? Yeah, I mean, just Derek Fisher. I mean, we're not talking about
that he played with. That he played with.
Yeah, that were on his team. I mean, I'm just thinking who are great players outside of Shaq
Kobe?
And Pau Gasol.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that Kobe played with.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I can't.
Hold on. I think we got a trade alert here, Eddie. Hold on.
Oh, all right. So,
there's been a trade. Let me see if I can find out what's going on here. Hold on.
Bro. Go for it, man. So let's see. We have.
So
I'm surprised.
So the Kareem Lopez pick has been traded, but I don't have all the details yet.
Oh, interesting. I wonder who that's going to be.
Yeah. So I'll try to find some information as we go here. Interesting pick. All right. So someone that was nowhere on any of our charts, and I'm gonna guess that he's not even in your pictures. But let me look. Oh, you have him here. All right, good, Eddie. Look at you.
Bad, huh?
We didn't even talk about this guy. Eddie's on it. Look at that. I love it. All right, Eddie. So can you see that?
Yep. Sergio.
They took Sergio de la Rea, a point guard out of Spain. So I thought they were going to take a big. I was pretty comfortable in thinking they were going to take a big. But no, they took a point guard.
Interesting, dude. Yeah, he kind of started shooting up.
For LeBron,
he started shooting up the draft boards recently, man. That's why I put him in there.
Okay.
Because he started showing up, on draft boards. When we first started doing the pre-draft coverages, he wasn't on these lists. It's just something that he started springboarding.
All right, let's see if we can find any comps here. NBA comparisons: Bogdan Bogdanovic, Josh Giddey, and Malcolm Brogdon. These are the players that he's been mainly compared to.
Interesting.
Austin Reeves type player as well.
Those are all good players, man, that you just mentioned.
No, they are. They're all good players.
What's interesting is that he, even in the list in the site that I was using kind of to do the projected guys to be drafted, he's not even in here, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised you had his picture. I thought for sure. Usually we run out of pictures in the second round, but look at Ed.
Yeah.
Ed's on top of his game. I don't think I put this guy's name on anything that I have.
No.
Across the board.
But he isn't on any, like the ones that I was like, kind of looking at. He's not even on this list. And there's like 60 names. Oh, take that back. He's number 30 on this one that I was looking at. And it says that he's a combo guard with good size and nice feel for the game. His stock is moving up. And he was projected to be
the Lakers got
projected
him.
At 30.
So what does this mean to the Lakers? I mean, Luka plays point guard. Obviously, that doesn't mean anything to him. LeBron plays some point guard. Doesn't mean anything to him. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But I thought they needed a big, and Terrace Reed is not necessarily a legit, but he's going to get you some rebound. I would have thought that he would have been more serviceable than DeAndre Ayton was coming out of the box, but we'll see.
All right, bro. So we got now the Denver Nuggets on the clock.
The Denver Nuggets, correct. And that's me. So as a reminder, what are their roster needs? They need a backup center. They need a backup point guard. The players that I have allocated here was Ubaka Okori out of Stanford, who's gone. Bennett Sturts out of Iowa, who's gone. We have Joshua Jefferson. I don't think he's gone yet.
Not.
Power forward from Iowa State, 6'8". Nope. and then Amari Allen, small forward, power forward out of Alabama. So from the people that I identified, there's 2 potential candidates, which is Joshua Jefferson and Amari Allen. And then according to ESPN, the best available continues to be Chris Senek. And the best fit for this is also Isaiah Evans, 6'6" out of
Well, it's interesting that Chris Senek, so Chris Senek AI picked him at the 26th pick. That's who they have.
Okay.
Now the best available are Isaiah Evans and Koa Pete.
Okay. What do you think they're going to do here?
Let's see. I would go. I'll say Koa Pete.
You're gonna go Koa Pete?
I'll say Koa Pete.
All right. Let me look at my backup. Let me look one more time.
All right. And while you're looking, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who did we pick as the best player in franchise history for the Denver Nuggets?
No, that's come on. That's
Joker.
Yeah.
That's who we picked. That's who we picked. Again, for those of you who are just tuning in, Toine and I did a series of episodes where we were on a quest to determine the best one-on-one player of all time. And how we did this, we went through a very rigorous process. We went through each division, we went through each team, and we nominated players that should be considered the best franchise. And then we'd argue, or debate, I would say, on who we think should be the selection. And that's how, when you were calling out these players, this is work that we did over a year ago. And that's why we're bringing these things up. It's just, a little bit more content for you guys to kind of, have you kind of see some of the old shows. Because I think some of these you'll enjoy, especially our Mount Rushmore segments, where it's a whole series. We did the best 6-man, the best coaches, the best players of all time, the best point guards, shooting guards, power forwards, centers, all of this. We went through that whole process, and we got to the best one-on-one player of all time. And by the way, it was not Michael Jordan. So tune in and check it out when you have a chance.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah. Most people would have guessed it was Michael Jordan.
Exactly. All right, man. So since we're buying some time, I'm going to ask you some other questions. Now we're getting into questions that are not necessarily basketball related, all right? All right, brother. So give me your top 5 favorite. Give me your top 1 or 2 favorite foods. This is getting the no Toine segment.
So are you do you mean like type of food?
It could be cuisine,
like
it could be
or is it a
dish? Say dish, cuisine, whatever comes to your mind.
So I would say that my 2. So I'll give you a cuisine and a dish. Eddie knows what I love pupusas.
Do you?
I love them to
death.
Do you
really?
Oh, I love pupusas. Yeah, I just absolutely love them. And then I would say next is Well, I don't even know if it's next because I love Mediterranean food.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do love.
And what's your go-to for Mediterranean?
So for me, there's been a lot of places, and lately there's a place here near where I live called Masra.
Oh yeah, we've been there.
That does like kebabs, rice, and hummus.
We've been there, bro.
So I really, Masra is a place that so that would be like my go-to. And then I'm always trying different pupusas, right? And to me, the funny thing about pupusas is the greasier, the better. Although not the better for me,
agree with you,
but
bro.
the better tasting.
I agree with you.
The better tasting. And for those of you that are unaware with what pupusas are an El Salvadorian plate that is sort of like a pita. So it's a bread.
It's like a quesadilla. It's like a quesadilla that's stuffed. It's a stuffed
quesadilla, but it's thicker. Yep. And
it's kind of round.
Correct. It'll come with beans, cheese, and a protein of your choice. I prefer pork, and for me, the trick is you get just the pork and the cheese, and no beans, because when they do the beans, it kind of kills the whole flavor. So for me, that's my own personal kind of.
I agree with you.
2 cents there.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
dude. What's funny is my daughter. So this weekend I had a conflict on Saturday. Terrace Reed.
Yes. Backup center. That was one of my call outs, right? They need that's a backup center for you right there.
Dude, you're on point today, brother. You are on it, dude. Like you are You are the draft whisperer today, bro.
Yeah, don't give me too much credit. It'll go away soon. Don't worry.
So what I was going to say is this past weekend, I had two things going on at the same time. And, one of them was in Sonoma. And one of my good friends, one of my best friends, actually, his son graduated from my alma mater, Cal Poly. So, and we were the only non-family members invited. So I had to go, right? And plus I also kind of helped him make the decision to go to Cal Poly. So I went there. I got invited to a family event, and it was one of my aunts. All of my aunts, they're all advanced age, and anytime I miss out on going to spend time with family and all that, it's hard, right? But my daughter really, wanted to go, so she decided to go to a place in Hayward to meet my family, and of course, my family are all Salvadorians, right? They picked a pupusa place called Las Cabañas in Hayward. And it's a little drive, and my daughter went in and she said it was unbelievable how many Salvadorians were in this place, man. She's like all of Hayward Salvadorians were in this place. It was like that many people.
Yeah,
there's that many people.
Funny.
Yeah, and dude, and I told, because I went one time to a family event and they picked that place, and dude, I went at 11 o'clock in the morning, and dude, it was unbelievable how many people were there. So the reason I'm bringing it up is because, one, you brought up pupusas. Two, it's a Salvadorian place. And three, the pupusas, I'm like you. I like looking for the best pupusas around. To me right now, still Balompia is the best one that I found in San Francisco.
Okay.
That's the best one. And then Los Planes, the one that we go to, is actually pretty good.
I like that one. I like that one.
That one's pretty dang good. But this one that we went to, Las Cabañas, it was okay to me. So I know I'm calling out some businesses.
I will give you my other tip.
Yes.
Just, I don't know how you do it, but pupusas they taste best when they're fresh.
Yes.
But if you need to reheat pupusas, here's my secret.
Comal. You're going to do a comal?
Here, no, you steam them.
Oh.
They taste best when they're steamed.
It's interesting.
And then if you want, you can add a little bit of garlic salt.
Really?
On top. And dude, it's a home run. Steamed. If you microwave them or air fry them or do any of that nonsense, they taste like garbage. They just don't taste great.
No
but
kidding.
when you steam them, they taste good. Yeah. So if you ever need to reheat them, my recommendation is buy a steamer, steam them, whatever, do whatever you got to do, but steam them.
Right on,
by the way, I did want to mention quickly about that trade. So the trade is between the Grizzlies, the Thunder, and the Pistons.
Grizzlies, the Thunder, and the Pistons. Okay.
Correct. So the Grizzlies get Kareem Lopez, the number 21 overall pick. They also get a second-round pick via Oklahoma City, and they get they get 2 second-round picks via Oklahoma City, and they get 3 second-round picks via Detroit. The Thunder get the number 16 pick, which is Bennett Sturts.
Wow.
Because remember, Eddie, I was telling you that I'm going to take them. Remember?
Yes.
Yes. I told you, dude.
I know.
You. And then the Pistons get the number 17th pick overall, which is Ubeka Okori, which is the other point guard from Stanford that got picked up. So that is the pick. Freaking Grizzlies knew what they were doing, man.
Dude, I'm scared of that, man.
Yeah, they turned that pick into Kareem Lopez, 2 second-round picks and 3 second-round picks.
That's awesome, dude. Good for them.
Yeah.
They got even more freaking room, because they're number one as far as
correct
money in the league.
Correct.
They got more flexibility.
Just so I don't take all the credit, it feeds into what you were saying, which is you think that Shane needs to unburden himself with some of the point guard duties, and that's what they picked up. They picked up a point guard, so you might be onto something there.
Yes, baby. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
dude,
where are we at?
We got 4 more picks in this draft, man. So we're at the 27th pick, and the Boston Celtics right now are on the clock.
All right, so that was me.
This is your team.
As a reminder, what did I put for Boston? Roster needs. They need some paint presence. They need some front court depth, some secondary playmaking, as well as some wing depth. And their picks coming up right now. The draft targets that I had was Henry Vassar and Chris Senick. I had Terrace Reed as well.
Yep.
Let's see who they're taking.
I'll say it's Chris Senick.
Yep, that's exactly right. They took Senick.
It was Chris Senick. Oh, right on.
Yeah. Yep. So that's who they took. So let me just get him on the video here.
So
and that's who I had. That is one of the players that I had identified for the Boston Celtics.
Good job, man. So who did we pick as the best overall player from the Boston Celtics in their franchise history?
Oh, that's a hard one, dude. I think I would have picked Bird if I.
We did. Larry Bird was the guy.
Bird,
that's who we
Bird's
picked.
He's a fantastic player.
Speaking you appreciate him more now after he's retired than when he was playing.
I would say that since we were talking earlier, out of all the, and people I think are going to disagree with me, but out of all the upper echelon type A players, he's the most underrated of all those guys.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yes. A lot of it is because, at the time when he was playing, a lot of the haters in the league kind of, and it was, the black players in the league kind of thought he was overrated because he got, he was the great white hope, right? That's kind of like what a lot of people were saying that. And you could see a little bit why, because he was hyped up big time. But dude, when you look back,
he was very hyped up. Yes,
he was hyped up big time, dude.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, if he was different, if he was our skin color, he'd be average. That was the thing that. You remember that? Remember that?
Yeah, that is what they were saying. I agree.
They were saying that, and it's not me. I'm just, I'm not saying this. I know right now it's not PC to talk about race, and I'm not talking about race in general.
No, you're talking about what was said. You're talking about what the vibe was when he was picked up. Absolutely,
yes.
I agree.
Yes, that was the vibe. Is that he was a guy that was overrated. And mainly because of his skin tone, and that was the sentiment. And then when you look back at his career, and you really appreciate everything that he did as a player. The guy was an unbelievable shooter, great rebounder. He was an awesome passer, dude. Like he was unbelievable as a passer. Like that's probably, in my opinion, his best skill as a player. Passing.
And I would say that, to me, LeBron James and Larry Bird are two players that lived up to all the hype that they received coming into the league. And I would probably throw Magic Johnson in there as well.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of players that exceeded, like Michael Jordan exceeded his expectations.
Totally.
Yeah. Totally. Steph Curry exceeded his expectations.
Yes.
Kareem, I would say, is another one that lived up to the hype. But there's not that many players that lived up to the hype.
Olajuwon did. Olajuwon did.
Yeah, I would say, Olajuwon did. Correct.
Olajuwon did.
Yeah.
Yep. But you're right. There isn't that many that lived up to the fanfare. A guy that really stood out for me that was very underrated, but was called out by the coach to be the best player in the draft. When we first heard it, we're like, what? Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki.
Do you remember when
Don
Nelson said we drafted the best player in this draft? And Dirk Nowitzki was like, we were like, what? Dude, he was right. That guy was unbelievable.
Yeah, no, he was a fantastic player, and I agree. I agree. Don Nelson was always, Dirk Nowitzki is probably the tallest player that he ever found.
Yeah, I agree.
Outside of that, he was good at picking small players.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah.
All right,
so, dude, we got right now 3 more players to be picked. So right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves are on the clock, and that was my team.
Correct.
So the Minnesota Timberwolves have 2 picks. They have one that's coming up right now, and then one in the second round. Which I'm not going to go through the whole pre-draft because I already did it. But the players that I had targeted here were Zuby Joyafor, St. John's, gone. Terrace Reed, UConn, gone. And then I had Isaiah Evans, who's available. Now,
still available.
The roster need I had, just to remind, as it's good that you've been bringing that up, is that another consistent scoring option alongside Edwards. To me, the Timberwolves and the Detroit Pistons, those are the 2 teams, their weakness was exposed in the playoffs. They needed another scoring option along their alpha guys, right? And these guys right now scream needing another guy. Now, they're not going to get that at the 28th pick. I think they're going to get that from free agents. And the guys that I thought that they should target in free agency would be these guys, these scoring types. CJ McCollum, although that they can't do it now because he got re-signed. And then Anthony Simons is another guy that, He's it could be targeted, and then Fred VanVleet would be another guy. These all fit that mold that they could offload Anthony Edwards having to be Superman every night. So, having said all of this, I think Isaiah Evans is the guy that I think they're going to probably pick. What AI says is at the 20th pick would be Christian Anderson. Now he's already gone.
He's gone. Yep.
He is gone. So the best available are Isaiah Evans and then also Malik Thomas and Koa Pete. So Koa Pete would be for Isaiah Evans, Koa Pete, Malik Thomas would be the three best available right now. And then
and ESPN has Isaiah Evans as the best available, which you called out, and Koa Pete as the best fit. And
as the best fit.
Correct. And just as the best fit, great, it went away. I went to go look at some comparisons for Koa Pete, and you're gonna get a giggle out of these comparisons, I think. So Koa Pete's comparisons are Aaron Gordon,
interesting,
Draymond Green, and Carlos Boozer.
No way. So the one that I have here was the one that I have shown is they compare him to Jarris Walker, who I think is an underrated player, by the way.
Yeah,
he'd be one of my.
I did a comp. Yep, I don't know. I haven't seen Koa Pete play much, so I can't exactly tell you. But that is an interesting combination.
Yes, I agree. So
yeah,
that's a steal if they're being compared.
I genuinely consider those guys three completely different types of players. Like to me, Draymond Green and Aaron Gordon don't have anything in common.
Yes, and by the way, I just realized something. I read off the Timberwolves, but they traded that away. So this is actually the Nets. The Nets have this pick because of that trade that they just did for Julius Randle.
Okay, so, and the pick is in.
Okay.
I'm going to so it's Joshua? Nobody we it's Joshua Jefferson. It's nobody we named.
Interesting.
Oh, I had it on. Sorry. My mistake. I'm sorry, I didn't know I was sharing.
Oh, no worries, man. Dude. We're good.
Yep.
So we got the Nets. This is the Nets pick. So Joshua, we only have two more picks, man.
Yep. Let me see here. Let me look at some comps for Joshua Jefferson.
And by the way, I'm going to answer the question I sent to you or asked you in the last.
Yeah, please. Yes. The meal, the food.
The best food, bro. So for me, dude, I think I was Chinese in a past life, dude. Honestly, because
no, I knew you'd pick Thai and.
Dude, Chinese and Thai are my top two.
Yeah.
And it's mainly because of the variety that those two cuisines have. Chinese is by far the most diverse cuisine there is, in my opinion. It's unbelievable all the different options you can get from Chinese food, dude. And then you got hot pot to go along with it. And then you got wonton soups, sweet and sour soups. You got dim sum. You got noodles galore. And you got spicy, non-spicy, dude. It's unbelievable. So those are my top two.
Yeah, I knew yours would be Asian. I knew yours would. Yeah. I knew that. Yeah, to me, for me, pupusas is I just love them.
Yeah, I do too, man. I
love them, and then for me, which is weird, I'm Latino, and for those that don't know, my father's Peruvian, my mother's Costa Rican, and for whatever reason, Mediterranean food reminds me of
your mom's cooking.
The food that and I can't explain why, but it just does.
Interesting.
And that's why I love Mediterranean food so much. It just feels like, not the hummus part, but the rice and meat just tastes the same. By the way, I wanted to throw up some comparisons here for Joshua Jefferson, who the Nets just picked up. So some comps for him were PJ Washington and Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
Oh,
so gotcha. Those were the comps that I found. If you found some different comps, another one was Kyle Anderson.
Interesting. The slow-mo.
Yeah, slow-mo. Exactly. So those are the comps. Where are we at now here on
we're at number 20. We're at 29 now. We're at 29. So real quick, before we go on, so I know it was the Nets was the last pick. and we already know who the best player from Nets history was. It was Julius Erving. Who
Correct.
did we pick for the best Minnesota Timberwolf?
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kevin
and
Garnett.
I think that's at risk. I think Anthony Edwards
I think so too.
Surpass him. Yeah.
I think so too. I think
that one is at
Anthony
risk.
Edwards will be considered the best Timberwolf of all time. That I agree with you
Correct.
on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So now we got the Cleveland Cavaliers on the clock.
Okay. All right. So let me go.
Again.
That was me. So let me go here a little bit. So roster needs. I identified a true 3-and-D wing. They need some perimeter defense. They need some creation off of the bench, some offensive creators, and a backup point guard. The targets that I had identified: Henry Vassar, who's still around, a 7-footer from Estonia, good passing ability, kind of a floor stretcher as a big. Yep. I've got Malik Thomas, a 6'4" guard from Arkansas, athletic scoring guard, good shooting creation upside, could develop into a 6-man type player. And then Alex Caravan, 6'8" UConn, high IQ forward, proven shooter, ready-made role. So those are the players that I had identified. I don't believe any of those players have been taken yet. I think they're all available. So we'll see. We'll see how close I was to identifying those players. And in terms of ESPN selection, the best available is Isaiah Evans, and the best fit is Koa Pete, which was the exact same information that they had for Minnesota. So nothing.
AI had Joshua Jefferson being selected here at 29.
Okay, but he's gone.
The two best available are the ones that you already called out: Isaiah Evans and Koa Pete.
Yep.
And then Malik Thomas is another guy.
Yep. And I had Malik Thomas as my draft target here.
Yep.
And given what they need, I think they'll pass on Henry Vassar, the 7-footer. I'm going to go with
Malik Thomas.
Yeah, probably Malik Thomas. Yep. That's probably who they're going to go with, Malik Thomas.
Okay. Now, going back to our little, the best player from the franchise. Who's the best player from the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise?
Come on, dude. Come on, man. I'm going to go with
Brad Daugherty, bro.
Mark Price, bro. Mark Price. What are you doing?
Brad Daugherty.
Not even close. It's Mark Price.
It's Brad, race car driving, NASCAR driving, loving Brad Daugherty, dude.
Yes, dude. It is Larry Nance Sr. Yeah. Although I think he's playing with Phoenix, so never mind. Oh, of course it's LeBron. All you LeBron lovers out there, of course it's LeBron. And it's not even close. I can't even think of.
I agree, bro. I agree.
Who would come in second? No, Kyrie Irving might be second.
Maybe.
I mean, geez.
All right, brother. Here's another question, because I know we have some more time here to kind of get through.
All right.
What are your top 3 movies of all time?
Oh, you're so all right. Well, without a doubt, Shawshank Redemption.
That's up there for me too, but it's not top 3. Yeah, it's up there. I gotta think I like that one. It's a good call.
Rocky 2.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't think Rocky 2 is even better than Rocky 3.
No, you're crazy,
dude.
I'm that's a sentimental pick. I think Rocky's probably the better movie. Rocky's the better movie.
Rocky 2 was that first. That's the scene that's very iconic when he's running through the streets and all the kids are following him to the steps.
Yes.
That's iconic. I get goosebumps every time I watch that scene, dude. Every time I watch that scene, I get goosebumps.
My favorite scene in that movie is when, Adrian, she passes out from having the and Rocky's there.
He's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that's my favorite line, dude. Mickey's like, what are we waiting for?
What are we waiting for?
That's right, dude. I say that line at least once a week, dude. What are we waiting for?
What are we waiting for?
Dude, I love. So that's why I love Rocky 2. Although I could argue that Rocky is probably a better film, just because he doesn't win.
The first one.
The first one's probably a better film, but you're asking mine. And I love Rocky 2 just because he wins and it's sappy and corny and all of the above. So Shawshank, Rocky 2. And for 3, I'm gonna go Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale's good, man, but dude, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't put freaking the Godfather series. I'm very surprised.
I think the Godfather series is fantastic, but it is such a, how would I put this? As you can tell, I like feel-good films.
Okay.
And all 3 of those to me are upper-level feel-good films.
Yes.
Godfather was a very serious film, and I like it. Godfather's,
movie, though, bro.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of, but I'm giving you my favorite. I'm not saying,
I hear you.
If you were to say to me, what are the 3 best films ever made?
Right? Highly acclaimed, the highest acclaimed.
Yeah, exactly. Then I would put Godfather in there. Godfather would be. But my own personal is Shawshank, Rocky 2, and Bronx Tale.
So I would put, for me, Godfather 2, number 1.
Okay.
Then I'd put Godfather number 1.
Okay.
And then I do my top 5 changes all the time. But I do like your Shawshank.
So wait, you say Godfather 2 was 1.
Yes.
What was 2?
Godfather.
Oh wow! So you're going double Godfather.
Absolutely. Then number 3.
Okay.
Oh, dude, that's a good pick, dude. I like that guy.
Yeah.
So, and then number 3, I would probably also put Shawshank Redemption, man. I really like that movie, dude. Every time it's on,
fantastic movie.
I watch it. Every time it's on, I watch it. There are certain movies that no matter what, when they're on, I'm gonna watch it when it comes on, and that's one of the movies for sure. Number 4. So, you know, it used to be Schindler's List. That movie,
that is a serious movie.
That was a heavy movie, dude, but it was very emotional. It was a very emotional movie, and I think that's probably why it stuck with me. But I'll tell you one that really, really sneaks up on you that you don't really think about until I bring it up. A Few Good Men, dude.
Yeah, A Few Good Men is good. There's
so many. Hella good.
There's so many good films. I mean,
Few Good Men is money, dude. That's iconic. I mean, you can't handle the truth, dude. That's freaking iconic. just
okay,
like you're really done here. What are we waiting
now
for?
You got me thinking. I'm a big fan of Saving Private Ryan. That's probably
good movie too, man. Good movie.
That's probably my top war movie of all time is Saving Private Ryan. I love that film. Hold on, we got so by the way, NBA comparisons to Caravan, Jason Capono and Sam Hauser. So
oh, okay. So he's like a shooting type, yeah.
Yep.
He's a good player though. I like that guy, man.
Yep. I think we have potentially another trade here. Hold on. I'm trying to find some information here. Okay, so here's another one. The Knicks and Lakers have swapped picks.
Okay.
So the Lakers get Cameron Carr, and the Knicks get Sergio De La Rea. Interesting. So right. Cameron Carr, all right, and then hold on. Let's see if there's anything else here. That's all that I'm seeing right now.
Okay.
Dude, hold on, Eddie. I'm gonna step away for a minute and turn on my lights.
Yeah, no worries. Go do your thing, man.
It's turning to witching hour. It was like broad daylight when we started, and
so right now we have the Dallas Mavericks on the clock here, bro.
Correct. They're the final pick, right, of this year's draft.
The final pick, and dude, this actually took a lot longer than expected. It's 3.5 hours, bro. Rap.
Yeah, and it's done. The pick is in. Any guesses?
Amazing. Who is it?
Any guesses before I show you? Any guesses on who this pick might be? If you're not looking.
I am gonna go ahead and say Koa Pete.
Yeah, Koa Pete.
Nice.
Very good, Koa Pete.
Nice, dude. Well, dude, this was fun, man. You know,
this was fun.
It didn't feel like 3.5 hours, but it was. No. And you know, and if you guys, for those of you who stayed with us through this whole process, we really appreciate it. We try to bring some entertainment. You know, we definitely did a lot of preparation for this. You know, the drafts are the times for us to where we spend a lot of time prepping for this. Yeah. And we both have day jobs, right? So it's tough to kind of fit all this stuff in. But I had to spread it out, over 15 days is what I did or more, kind of to prepare for all this. Because you can't cram this. It's going to be way too hard. So, but anyway, we really appreciate you listening in. We went through all 30 picks. We hope you enjoyed our draft coverage because we went ahead and did some of the pre-draft coverage during the show. And I think I kind of like that. We might want to do that next year instead.
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking the same thing, Eddie.
Yeah, we should probably do it at the draft rather than trying to do it before the draft. Maybe we'll figure it out. But we went ahead and did all 30. We both picked teams that we thought would do draft trades. Some of them did happen. I haven't gone through the scoreboard, but I'll do that later on tonight, and we'll go over that tomorrow to kind of figure out how well we did, against our predictions on draft day trades. But anyway, we're gonna be here again tomorrow for the second day, the second round of the draft. It starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Be here live, and please, if you have any questions, if your platform allows it, go ahead and type it in. We're here for a reason to answer your questions and bring this entertaining content. I hope you enjoy some of these questions that I asked Toine about, his foods and his movie choice. I have to come up for other ones for tomorrow, man. But hopefully, we brought some entertainment value to you as you listened to the draft show during this time. So anyway, I'm Eddie Aparicio. This is Anthony Toine Corral. We're also known as the Cisco Kidz. You can find us at gremlinsmedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, everyone. Until tomorrow, have a good night, and we'll talk soon.